But when we,
Don't worry.
I
Every time
know.
we have to whisper, I'm convinced I'm going to fuck it up. So don't worry.
It's
So
fine. Rolls.
when we pick our thing with the picture on it, I'm not starting off strong, am I? So there's a list, a drop down menu list at the bottom right hand screen.
Yeah.
You click your name, right? Unfortunately, I have two names.
Yeah.
That is
Is
correct.
the name above candle or is the name above party?
You have to just try them both and see which one. So there it
There you go.
goes.
That
Yeah,
one?
unfortunately, one is your account, one is your character,
Party.
and the
Okay.
text under it will reflect your account no matter what. So you want it to be set to your character name, which is confusing because then there's two of you.
No, it's fine now. I fully understand it. I'm just gonna make a note that it's the account over party. And if that's
Yeah,
something that changes, I will lose myself. But
I always go after it's not the one I'm on. It's the new one. It's the one further down when I click the list. I'm just like, it's not the one I'm on. It's that one. That's how I remember it.
okay, this is not the one it's actively on.
It's not the
Okay.
one It's not the one I'm already selected. It's the other one. That's my name. And I'm just like, I'm not changing it because I know how that works. I'm like, no.
yeah.
Mm.
I'm like this. No,
Go ahead.
I think that was it.
Well, I was just gonna say the scribe for this week would be Nalo, if you're okay with that, Nalo.
Yep, that's fine.
All right.
Don't mess it up.
Oh, you mess
I'll
up.
try
You
not
gotta
to.
do it.
Mess up.
Well, he should be all right. He
Yeah,
had
the
his
only
nice
way you
color.
can really mess it up is not posting. But yeah,
Yeah, I wonder who
He had
would
a nice.
do that. I wonder if that's something somebody would do. Maybe
maybe.
that's
Maybe
ever
me.
happened in the history of
Yeah,
D&D before.
never.
Never.
So also Scurry, well, he's not here, but he'd be up for next week. And we do have a quartermaster who is currently Scurry. So is anyone willing to take on quartermaster while he's away?
Okay, first off, what is quartermaster?
Quartermaster is just basically like running the party treasury. So if the party gets items, the quartermaster makes sure either someone takes those items or that they go into the party treasury. Or else, like, things just get lost
And
in the ether sometimes, like money and essence and all that stuff.
Not the money.
Not
I
the
would
money.
suggest that it would make sense that the person being scribe who's already
Yeah,
taking
I can
account of
do it.
actions would do it. But I mean, you gotta promise that you're gonna do it this time.
I'll do
Pinky
it.
swear.
All right,
I
Like
pinky
Nalo.
swear.
Nalo, you
virtual
want to do it?
pinky swear.
All right,
I'll do it.
put Nalo
If you
down.
don't do it, I'll cry, and I'm an ugly crier. I'm like a
So,
walrus dying.
While
yeah.
Scurry's not here, hand all the cash out.
Yeah,
Yeah, stop!
split all the money.
Stimulus package.
So just FYI, the let's see, the group treasury is under resources and character info. It's kind of messy right now, but it's all recorded there. Here, let me make sure you have access to it.
Yeah, I can see the party treasury.
Actually, not everyone is supposed to be able to edit this, so let me fix that. It's only supposed to be the treasurer. All right. So,
Oh, I didn't know this existed.
yeah, it's just kind of what the group is carrying. Who is carrying this in this party?
If it's not on a person, it's on Scurry.
Okay. Does he have the bag of holding?
No, I do. So that actually doesn't make much sense, does it?
Well, yeah, because you do still have to account for the weight, and I don't think Scurry is very strong, so I doubt
Right,
he's able
Scurry
to carry
can't
all
hold
this.
it. That's why you're holding it.
So
So let's just assume this. Usually, that's what the group does: is assume this stuff is in the bag of holding. So I'll make a note of that you're carrying it.
how heavy is stuff like essence and gold?
Gold is 1 pound per 50 coin. Essence is
I didn't even
weightless.
think about that.
I
Essence
see.
is like powder, so it doesn't weigh anything.
Do we assume it's like in something or?
Yes, each different type of essence is supposed to be in a vial of some kind, something glass, so it doesn't leak
So-
out.
For each separate essence, you'd have a glass vial.
Yeah, you
just-
would assume that's how it's supposed to be recorded.
All right. So actually, it's actually not very heavy because all the stuff in here is noted. At least it's heavy. Someone else is holding it.
So it's not supposed to be noted if someone else is holding it, because that's how it can accidentally double up if someone like spends a bunch of gold, but then someone looks in the party treasury and sees it's still noted in here under being on that person.
I see.
So I would just delete all those, and we'll assume those people are actually carrying what they should be carrying.
I won't delete the stuff that Scurry is carrying though.
Yeah, that's fine. Since that's
He can
his.
have it in the.
Hopefully he's recording that on his sheet. But anyway, so why don't we do a quick recap? Mia, you were the last scribe. Do you want to tell us what happened last game?
Cool. Yes. So, we were in the dungeon and we were clearing out more rooms. We had a fight with this baddie dude. We found a puddle and we went down that, but nothing really happened there. So I made a knife, I think. But we killed 2 minotaurs. There's the cave, the tunnel we got a knife out of, and then we fight some more creatures because we found another one of those dungeony rooms that Mia's afraid of, and a bunch of people get hurt. And then as we're figuring out what we're doing, I guess we hear people around, so we hide. And there was a crate made, minor illusion by Meta, and the person who is there, the woman, is Lyra, and she is sent to clear all of that out. So Ribbon's already down there because he was like peeping, trying to see what was going on, and so Mia jumps out to try and like distract Lyra from the other people who are hiding, and by some chance she convinces Lyra and the guards to go with her. They go back through the tunnels that lead to the basement, and Mia knows, like, she sees that it's guarded, and they're talking about like halls of Taurus and forces of orcas and stuff, and Mia's just lying her ass off saying, let's go get some beer. Like, that's all she can think to do. She's just saying how she likes to kill shit and how all that shit happens, so whatever. We go back to get beer, and Meta had gone back to see what was going on with like Mia, and he follows Lyra, and they see that they only have mapped what like we've gone through and cleared out so far. And then there's some talk about Mia possibly working for Blackwater, because Blackwater like talks to Mia and like the whole beer thing, and like basically just crapping herself. And yeah, I guess Meta goes back to the to the Maplewood, and we kind of had a stopping point there. Riven wants to go to the mayor, and that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, so it is currently the 17th of autumn at 12 o'clock p.m. And this is the Heroes of Chaur, session 21. So, yeah, we had kind of stopped off. I think the group was trying to get some kind of meeting going at the Maplewood, like you were saying.
Yeah, like Lyra is supposed to come back, and I was going to try to just talk with her and see what can progress there. What I had kind of been thinking about, because I know Riven wants to go to...
No, you don't, because you want that.
Oh, right, I don't know that. Never mind.
We're still at Blackwater.
But anyway, I was just going to try to talk to Lyra.
All right. So the group is currently working with the Blood Hand against Blackwater in secret. Let's see. So, Nalo, you said you were going to go see the mayor while they're meeting up at the Maplewood?
Did I say that?
Or-
Did I say that as an NPC last time?
Or was it Scurry? Am I getting my
It's
people mixed up?
probably Scurry,
Okay. Well,
but I can go with them and play that out.
Scurry
Scurry
wanted
was-
to sleep off like zombie-like stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scurry didn't want anyone to see him because he was.
Oh yeah, because he got trained. So we'll just say
Yeah.
Scurry is resting this episode, which would make sense because of his issues. So he's just trying to heal up. But what did the rest of you want to do? I'll say you're all at the Maplewood right now. This is right after the meeting with Blackwood. Actually, Meldonis, did you go back to the Maplewood or did you do something else?
Yeah, I went with her. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I think.
So everyone's at the Maplewood now. Then
Yeah, I think Mia had
let's
gone to take a bath.
let's say that. Yeah. Oh, Mia's taking a bath. All right. So Mia's not with the rest of you, but everyone is technically there.
Getting ready for her hot
Mia.
date with Lyra.
you brought Lyra here. Then is Lyra here or not?
No, Lyra
no,
didn't
not
come
yet.
back with.
She said she'd meet you later because she had to finish up her report for Blackwater.
Right.
I am back.
So yeah, what do you all want to do?
Welcome back.
Should we maybe tell the Bloodhand that Blackwater's found the tunnel that connects to their secret underground stuff?
Are we in the secret room or
Yeah.
are we in the public one?
So did
I thought it was
you?
a secret.
So if you want to rent the secret room for the day, it would be a gold piece. I don't remember if you rented already. I don't think you did, because I think that was yesterday you had rented it. So do you want to say you rented it out, and someone pay a gold piece and use that, or do you want to meet somewhere else?
We could just meet at the entry house to the caves.
Oh, and the well, if you go there, Lyra won't know where you are. If
Yeah,
you're
like,
still
I have
playing
to-
Commuter.
That's true.
Yeah.
Just rent the room out because when they turn up, it might just be better to have a separate room anyway.
That's true.
All right. So who's paying the gold piece?
I'll just pay it up from the party treasury.
All right. So with Scurry sick, Nalo is spending the party treasury. It's like, Scurry won't notice.
Yeah, he'll okay.
All right. So you pay a gold piece, you get the key to the private room, and I assume you're going to go back there and talk.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. So,
Would I have made it there yet, or is this?
yeah, we
before I
can.
get there?
Yeah, but how? Like, am I done with my bath and gone back downstairs yet, or?
Well, do any of you want to do anything before Meldonis and Mia come, which would be Riven, Tal, and Nalo?
My one is kind of I'm prioritizing maybe telling the Bloodhand that Blackwater's people have found the tunnels that connect to theirs, as opposed to going and having a chat with the mayor. So I can wait for them to come down then ask. It doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should discuss it with the rest, but do we want to move tonight against Blackwater? Or do we want to clear out, the treasury room first? Or the vault? I don't know. What's our plan here?
I mean, moving sooner is better than moving later. But we don't want to miss stuff.
Are we going to be anywhere near ready, prepared? / I can't get past that pentagram on the floor.
That's why we went the long way around.
The long way around doesn't lead us to that bit because there's still that locked door that's got half glowy runes on.
True, it does lead there if we explode the runes, but whatever.
But that's, I mean, there's a lot of memories, and then we still got to know if we helping with the Bloodhound set up a diversion to distract people when we attack Blackwater's mansion, so that they all don't come running to try and help him. Like the guards and
Anyone's
everything?
gonna come and help him. If it's a diversion, we need to create a diversion that distracts Blackwater's guard, and since they didn't even come out for the Hobgoblin attacks,
Yeah, but
we won't have...
the town guard might go and help him if his place comes under attack. And I don't really want to be fighting the town guard
Yeah,
as well as his mercenaries.
does need to be
So
fast, I think. Fast and undetected is the plan, right?
but he knows about the underground tunnel, so he's going to be preparing for it. Like I know he's going to send people down there, but I'm
So,
pretty sure he's not stupid.
as you are having
but he
this
might not.
discussion, you would hear a knock at the door.
I'll go open it.
All right, you see Meldonis is there. Looks like he just arrived.
Is this at the secret room or is this at the Maplewood itself?
Well, the Maplewood is where the private room. It's not really secret. It's just a side room.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm just going to stick with Lyra because she doesn't know that I know.
Oh, all right. So if you were sticking
group?
with her, then she would. Oh, so
Yep.
wait, you're not coming here with Lyra?
No, I am coming
you
here
are
with
coming
Lyra,
here
but
with
she
Lyra.
left before me because I
That's
went
right.
to go change.
So if that is the case, you would find her sitting out in the tavern, kind of looking around, waiting for Mia to arrive, and she would wave to you and say, "Oh, hello, Meldonis." So retcon that he didn't actually knock on the door yet. She would say, "Hello, Meldonis. Welcome."
Yes, I tried to get here as quickly as I could.
Well, I was just waiting for Mia and the rest of the heroes, but why don't you take a seat? I'll introduce you to them when they come.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
All right.
I'll sit and I'll kind of raise my hand for the barkeep.
All right. So you have a couple of drinks, or get some food and drink ordered.
Mhm.
So okay, sorry. Continue in the room. What are you all talking about?
We need to ask Maldonis what security he's got down there coming from the Dwarven ruins into his tunnels, so we know what we're going into.
I mean,
That would be smart, probably.
the decision we have to make right now is, should we tell the Bloodhound to prepare for tonight?
I think tell them to move everything out of their. Move all the stuff out the tunnels, because if he's going to go exploring later on, I'm guessing he's gonna, and maybe get the people take anything that traces back to them from the houses over the tunnel, so that he doesn't know people know about them. Because if he thinks no one knows, it might allow us to sneak in with him having less security on it.
He knows that we know. So
He doesn't know that. He knows that Mia was there. Doesn't mean he knows that we all know.
It's not a leap that she's gonna tell us, even if he believed her.
Yeah, but it's if we could find a way in, and then he's got to expect us to be doing something to double cross him.
Quick question. I was looking through my notes. What happened after the encounter with Lyra? Did you have her do anything, or did you hire her to do something, or did she just go? I'm trying to figure that out.
Oh, so she's working. If it's that one I basically took control of, she's working at Blackwater's place to get the ring.
Oh, right. Yep. That is right. Okay, thank you. Go ahead, continue. She's doing covert ops stuff right now.
And that's the other thing. We've got to see what the girl I charmed can get, like knows and can help with, or has got the ring. Because we hired her to do that.
Yeah, that sounds like we're not gonna move tonight.
But though
No,
she's
no,
only been doing that for a day, remember? She hasn't been in there that long.
No, I don't. She still might know stuff.
True, but yeah.
I'm not on about moving. I'm on about telling the Bloodhound to move any trace that they are in the tunnels or know where the homes are that lead to the tunnels, to take any trace to get out of there, so that if he explores, he won't find them. That's what I'm saying to go and say to the Bloodhound. Not to attack tonight, to move all your shit so no one knows that you're there.
I wonder if if Blackwater is expecting attack from the tunnels, maybe we can have Meldonis even tell him that the Heroes of Char are planning to do that, and then we just have a slight diversion in the tunnels, but then we actually send a force in above ground, like covertly, sneaking onto the grounds and like
How
working through.
how are we going to get in from above ground?
I guess
Well,
forces are
if
to
there
run.
was, yeah, I mean, I was just curious if maybe there would be enough confusion and everyone just because I'm sure Blackwater would send all his most powerful people to the
If
tunnel
he don't,
entrance.
no, he probably would, but then we still got the problem of getting in, and then when they find out we're not there, because they'll be expecting an attack, and they'll all be armored and all be ready, they're then going to come and kill us.
Yeah, maybe.
With that, there is now a knock at the door.
Hello.
And I'll go open it.
All right, so you would see Mia, Lyra, and Meldonis all at the door.
Shit, how
We're
much
gonna
of
get shit faced.
Oh goodness. Hopefully not too quickly. We have stuff to talk about, I'm sure.
Lyra
you
says,
really want to talk about it with them?
Meldonis, these are the rest of the heroes of Char.
Oh, it is a pleasure to meet all of you.
Pleasure to meet you. What's your name?
My name is Meldonis.
Do you mind if we all come in?
No.
All right, so they are going to come in and have a seat. Lyra says, I didn't even know that they rented out these rooms. Interesting. How are you all doing today?
Dandy.
Excellent. I recently bumped into your friend here, Mia. Apparently, there was some trouble with the group, and she decided to go underground to fight a bunch of things alone. I don't know if she told you about her.
As she says
adventures.
that, I'm going to turn. As she says that, I'm going to turn to
Cool.
Mia. You went solo again. I've told you for about walking off and you get lost. This is what happened to us last time.
Oh
I
dear.
just needed some alone time, Riven.
And how did you end up down a hole again?
I don't know. It just I won't talk about it.
I'm sorry. I thought I didn't realize you were trying to keep that a secret, Mia. My apologies.
Where did you
And I'm
find her?
gonna show you my egg.
How much trouble was she in? Because every time she does this, she gets into a lot of trouble and she nearly dies. What happened?
Oh well, she wasn't really in much trouble. We were, myself and some of Blackwater's people were exploring some underground tunnels, and we just happened to bump into her down there. And it seemed like she was doing quite well against all the creatures. In
That's
the,
right. I came out unscathed.
Oh, so there are underground tunnels in this city, whatever you want to call it.
There are,
I didn't know.
yes.
And I can
I'm
tell you
so,
what, you can get such a good workout there just bashing on some baddies.
I'm so trying to sell that we have no idea what she's been up to, or that there's tunnels that are literally.
Can
so
I
much.
roll insight on Lyra?
Sure.
Nice.
So you think Lyra probably knows that the group is being at least partially untruthful with her, even though she's not giving the hints that she knows. You would guess as a extremely intelligent wizard, she probably not fully seen through, but know that there are some cracks in the story that seem a little off.
I need beer.
Well, beer might be good right about now.
I'll come get drinks with you.
Awesome.
So there is actually a bar maid who you can summon, so she'll come and get you some beers.
15 beers!
No,
Or
not
whatever you
15, and I don't want beer. Have you got any rum or wine or cocktails? I'm a fairy, it's what we have.
Yeah, we have some wines and I don't know if we have rum, but we have more expensive stuff if you're interested.
What's the more expensive stuff?
So it would
Isn't it?
increase your daily upkeep to comfortable, which is 2 gold pieces a day.
To
This
that's
is why we drink beer. He wants a beer.
no, I don't
Put
want
a
to.
straw in it. It's fine. Like a
Look
squiggle
at me.
straw. It'll be fine. He can suck it, and
Don't
it'll
want
just
a beer.
and maybe an
Uh,
umbrella.
You can
It'll be
have
good.
cheap wine if you want. That's fine. Although rum might be a little bit more expensive.
I want rum. I
Alright.
want rum.
You want rum? All right. So
All
then
right,
just
you're paying for it.
remember you're paying 2 gold pieces for the day.
24, 22.
Usually I just ask for upkeep at the end of the day. But
If I don't do it now, I will completely forget.
all right. Well, here in case it's not called upkeep. Why do I keep forgetting what this is called?
Booze money.
Expenses, I think.
Living expense or something.
Yeah. So yeah, lifestyle expenses. So you're all kind of set to modest right now, which is a gold piece a day. The next level is comfortable, which is 2 gold a day.
Yeah, no, I'll go comfortable.
That's fine. So just change your, like I said, your living expense to comfortable, and then that'll be 2 gold each day. But anyway, all right. So you order some rums. You guys order some beers. You're hanging out. Lyra, even though, well, Milo, I'm guessing you didn't tell anyone that you think Lyra's a little bit onto you.
No, I didn't say anything.
Okay. So yeah, she's kind of hanging out as well, talking to you all.
I'm gonna get my egg and I'm gonna ice her out. I'm gonna turn away from her and I'm gonna show that I'm visibly upset because I did repeatedly tell her not to tell the guys that I was doing that because I was ashamed of how it made me feel weak to have to attack things that I couldn't control myself. So I'm mad at her right now.
All right. So she seems a little bit sad, but she continues to talk to everyone and hang out. What does the group want to do?
Oh, what is down there? Does this have anything to do with this abandoned-looking church over there?
You're asking her?
Yeah, I'm asking her.
Well, I probably shouldn't say too much about the tunnels, but from what I can tell, they are a product of the 12th cycle. During the Therian Dwarven Empire is the time they were built. There's actually a couple of underground structures that were built in these areas because there were several large cities that existed here. And
Did you say fairy? Did you say fairy or fairy? Like FAR or TH?
Huh? Oh, Therian?
No, that's all right. I thought you said fairy. Fairy.
Oh.
I was like, fairy? What?
No. The empire's name was the Therian Empire, which existed about, as I said, during the 12th cycle, which was about 2000. She would kind of go off on a tangent of history, starting to talk about customs of the Therian Empire and their emperors, and just kind of be all over the place with facts that probably aren't of much use to you all.
And there are monsters down there now?
She says,
I'm
oh,
gonna
yes.
get
Where they come from?
Yes, there are undead that still roam the halls. There was a great battle down there. You see in the halls of Tarsus. Go ahead. What were you saying, Mia?
I said roamed. I corrected her because I'm a baddie and I killed the roamers.
Oh, well, there are probably still more creatures down there. Mia, it's quite an expansive set of tunnels. But
So
yes.
There's more I could kill.
Oh, I'm almost
I'm listening.
positive. I'm sure that there's more you could do down there if you wanted to.
Let's go.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
maybe
take
let's
the
go
left
tomorrow.
side. You take the left side. No, man. Let's do it now. I'm buzzed. Let's do it.
well, I think it might be a good idea to at least speak with Lord Blackwater. I think he was looking to hire you all anyway, so you could probably talk to him
Oh yeah.
about accessing the tunnels. I don't know how else you get down there.
of not taking his money and not being in his employ. And I kind of want to see how she reacts to that, if she also has some kind of negative attitude towards Lord Blackwater, or if she's truly into him.
Give me a persuasion check. So she would say, what is your issue with Lord Blackwater? He's always seemed to be a fair employer to me and most of the other mercenaries.
You were there when we talked to him. He was implying that we did something wrong when we stopped the attack on the Orchard's attack on the town. Said we made things worse. I don't know.
No, not to mention, he doesn't send out any of his mercenaries to go fight them. He just keeps them on his estate. And the town's guard have to do everything.
Wait, he doesn't
But-
like us? He was really nice to me.
Well, he's sort of cold, so we're sort of cold back. He's a little off-putting to us. I hope you can understand.
I'm off-putting.
She says, I suppose I don't remember that conversation. Maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention. Well, that's strange. I thought he had wanted to hire you all to help him, but perhaps I was misinterpreting the situation.
Guys, we should do it because then we get to kill the things and it's fun. Do it. Let's do it. It's not just the beer talking. I feel like this will be a really great bonding moment for us.
I have no doubt that Lord Blackwater has could make use of our strengths. Just personally, he may not like us, although I'm sure he would employ us.
Well,
So wait, did he say that he wanted to give us a job?
he had spoken about hiring you all to deal with some of the issues. I had thought he had hired you to work on the issues up with the Iron Tide, or were you working for someone else?
He hired us to retrieve a dagger.
But we failed.
Or he tried to hire us, but he only cares about the dagger apparently, not about the fate of the town.
Is it that dagger that doesn't exist?
She says, "Oh, well, Lord Blackwater isn't always the best at communicating. I'm sure it is a misunderstanding. He obviously cares about this town. I mean, his estate is here. If anything were to happen to the town, he as well would be in jeopardy."
Again,
What
why
dagger are you
didn't his
referring
mercenaries help
to?
him?
Sorry, what did you say, Meldonis?
What dagger are you referring to
Are you talking
that he
to,
wanted so badly?
Are you talking to
The
Lyra?
group.
Oh, the group. Okay.
We're not really certain. We were just told about a dagger that we had to go obtain a hefty price
Yes,
for the dagger, but
it was the dagger that the Iron Tide and Orchard had stolen from him, Lyra says. It's
Very well.
It's a relic of sorts that he, for some reason, needs for the next part of his plan. Apparently, he had found it, but at some point it had been stolen from him. I believe during it was brought up here on one of the caravans that had been able to get through the lines, and it was stolen on the way up.
What's his plan?
She says, "Oh, I can't talk about that, and he hasn't even told me that much about it. I just know a couple of things, but I have agreed to not speak of his plans while I serve him. So unfortunately,
But if his plans are good for his people, the people that are here, well, maybe they could help. Maybe if people understood what he wanted to do, they'd help him. It just seems silly to do things for people not knowing why you're doing them.
all right, someone else saying something?
When Mia first asked about what his Blackwater's plans was. I was going to do a sorcery point to do subtle spell, and then cast detect thoughts on her to know what she was thinking.
All right. So go ahead and
Ooh.
link subtle spell and link the spell you're casting.
So, right, subtle spell. Clan. Where have you gone? Meta magic. There you are.
Also, Tal, were you saying something? Because I think I cut you off.
Yeah, I don't know if it makes sense now, but
Where's that?
All right. So sure, I'll send you a whisper with the information. Are you gonna try to probe deeper?
It depends what I get. Well, no, because she'd know. Would she know it's me, or would she just know someone's done it? Like, not
Uh,
specifically me, but someone in the
she would
room.
know someone is trying to affect her with magic if she's rolling a saving throw.
But she wouldn't necessarily know.
Being a wizard, she would probably know. No, she wouldn't know it was you necessarily, but she would know
Okay.
someone is trying to affect her.
Okay.
All right. So
Sorry.
what is she thinking about?
Fingers crossed she's thinking about his plan.
All right. Go ahead. You can continue. So you do your little mind magic kind of in the middle of this discussion.
Okay. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna
So
probe because she knows. Yeah.
she would say, "What you say is true, Mia, but I still, it's not my decision to make. Blackwater has to decide if he wants to tell the people of the town or not. But a lot of his projects are for his own learning and enlightenment. So I think that's why he doesn't always discuss them with everyone else. I think he does care about the town, but
then why didn't he stop the attacks?
what do you mean stop the attacks? I didn't he
His
hire you
mercenary
all?
force. No, he didn't hire us. His mercenary force is like 5 times as strong as we are. He could have easily made things better, and he didn't.
As well, he has more people, but not all of them are as well trained as mercenaries like yourselves. I mean, I am fairly talented in magics, but I'm no war mage. My magic is more for scholarly pursuits. There are people under his employ that are talented, but I don't think any of them. I mean, I guess he could have tried to send all his mercenaries against the Iron Tide, but they had good positioning, and I don't think he would have won that war. And from what I
I'm just
hear, you
saying
all
that
did a very good job of clearing them out, didn't you?
Decent. I wouldn't say good.
I'm just saying that I see the way he treats you, and it seems like he just expects a lot from you, and he doesn't give much back. I mean, he didn't even have a beer with you. What kind of friend is that? And
Oh,
I just,
that's more nobility, Mia. They don't generally spend time drinking with the people they work with. It's unfortunate. But I would say Meldonis has gotten it way worse than I have. And she kind of looks over to Meldonis.
Why would you say that?
who are you anyway?
Oh,
Oh,
me? Hi.
oh, my apologies. Meldonis is one of the scholars that is working with Blackwater right now. I'm not sure where do you come from, Meldonis? Blackwater was always a bit quiet when if I had asked anything about you. He never told me much.
Oh, I've been employed with the Blackwater family for quite some time.
Oh, I see. All right. That's
Practically all
interesting.
my life.
Well, I did not know that. I'm surprised Blackwater didn't tell me that. But
Oh,
yes.
it's
Oh, go ahead.
nothing
Sorry.
really.
She says, "Well, yes, Meldonis, as I said, gets it way worse than I do for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but I think Blackwater means well. He's always been a fair and generous employer, anyway."
Well, I mean to get drunk. And then I'm gonna. Do we have our beers yet?
Yeah, so you are all probably drinking at this point. You have your mugs in front of you with all your beer and ale
So I'm gonna
and rum.
slide another beer to her and chug another one.
I'm going to drink very lightly, wanting Lyra to get very drunk before I start talking to her about the things I want to.
So Lyra has a wine which she is sipping. She does not seem like she wants to get drunk like you. She's kind of cautiously drinking.
I would like to convince her otherwise.
All right. So how would you do that?
Lyra, why are you babysitting that drink of yours? I thought tonight was about letting loose.
Oh, well, maybe for some. I was just happy to sit here and take in this crowd of adventurers and heroes.
Oh, come on, we're all friends here. No need to be polite.
If you down that drink, I'll let you touch my egg.
Give me persuasion checks.
Oh,
Oh.
mother of God. Can I use is inspiration for advantage or to reroll?
It's advantage, so you'd have to do it before you roll.
Mother of
Yeah,
it.
you can't do it after you see the
All right.
rolls. So she says, I don't really like how I am when I drink too much wine, so I think I'll hold off for now. But maybe sometime, maybe
We
another
have
time.
beer.
Yeah.
Beer.
So she doesn't seem like she's too into it right now.
Yeah. Lyra, how many Fey creatures have you ever met?
Oh, I've only met a few actually. You'd think being a high elf, high elf magic user, you'd think I'd be introduced to more, but only a couple, including yourself.
Not really. Fey don't really like the mortal plane. I mean, it's nice because we get to see life as a like the average stuff, which is very interesting for us. But generally, no. But do you know of a Fey drinking game?
I don't think so. Although I'm certain a few exists, like with any culture.
Naturally. So basically, fuck it. It's called. What the fuck's up with that?
I
I'm gonna
love
do
this game!
I'm gonna do this shit. Right. So basically, we need the only thing we need is drinks and dice. So let's go get dice. I hope the barman's got dice. This is not gonna work otherwise.
So if you go out to the bar area, he would say, odd or even.
NA
What did you say?
like a six-sided dice, just like one of them.
I mean, odd or even. I'm gonna roll for it.
Oh, so basically, odd. She gets to pick someone to drink. Even
No,
we
I'm
get.
rolling to see
She
if he
has
No,
has
you
dice.
pick. You pick.
Oh.
I'm
odd or
asking
even.
you, odd or even.
even. Sorry,
Even?
sorry, even.
He does actually have a set of dice. He pulls them out from under the bar and says, "Just return them when you're done."
Yeah, well, try to laugh back.
All right.
So, whoever wants to play has to think
I'll
of a
play.
number.
Okay.
Right.
Um,
These are like normal dice, which is from 1 to 6, right?
Yeah, they were probably six-sided dice.
So everyone has to think of a number from 1 to 6. If it lands on your number, you get to ask a question to someone, and they don't have to incriminate anyone, but they answer, and then you drink afterwards.
It seems like a strange game, Lyra says.
It's a fake
I'm
game. Of course, it's
Can we
strange.
do the one where we have the dare too? Can we add the dare? Like that one time, remember, Riven, when we had the dare and then he jumped into the river?
That wasn't a drinking game. That was either I ate something disgusting or I went for a swim.
Oh.
while Riven is talking, I'm gonna push my chair back, pull out a lute from my pack, and start playing some music.
Okay, so you liven up the room with some music. Give me a performance check.
There we go.
All right, so not a bad little song to liven the area up a bit. So what do we have to do to play this game? Lyra says.
All you have to do is pick a number from 1 to 6.
4. She
Okay,
says.
cool. And then I'll roll the dice. So it's 6-sided dice. So do this. Did anyone pick 2? Shit, I should have checked. Okay, I'll just say I had 2. I had 2. Me. Right. So I get to ask you a question, and you have to tell the truth, but you don't have to incriminate anybody else that you don't want to. But if you don't answer, you have to drink all your drink. If you answer, you just have to take a sip of your drink.
Give me a persuasion check.
Fuck, please work. I am really worried. Fuck it. I'm gonna use an inspiration die just to play safe.
Okay.
My ass is not risking that shit. Oh, I didn't. Yeah. Cool.
She says, "Oh, I suppose. All right. What's your? I assume you're going to ask me
You assume I'm going to ask you what?
a question, right?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a question.
All right. What's your question?
My question is, what is a thing that made you want to come and stay working for Blackwater?
Well, I started work for him quite a while ago. He was much younger. I wasn't much younger, obviously, because elves live a lot longer. But I was trying to make some contacts within the Teruvian Empire, and I happened to bump into him during my travels in the capital, and we spoke, and we were both fans of history, and he had told me about some studies he was doing, and I had some knowledge on what he was looking into. So I told him, and he asked me to come work for him to help him do some research for an expedition he was doing. And it was a good match. We had just worked together after that. He had hired me to help him on several expeditions. So I've been working with him for a few years now, and he's always been fairly honest, and he's he pays fairly well, and he gives me a lot of contacts that I can work with when I'm not working with him. So it's been a good experience for the most part. Give me an insight check.
Oh shit!
Anyone.
What kind of expeditions were you going on? What kind of stuff were you doing? What kind of baddies were you killing?
What
What's the coolest
is
thing you've
going
killed?
on?
So, so he would or she would start talking more about her expeditions. I'm not going to go into detail, but Nalo, you get the feeling when she speaks about Blackwater, she's not telling you everything.
In what way? Is there animosity or like potentially something like love or?
It's hard to say exactly what she's leaving out, but yeah, you get the feeling she. I don't want to necessarily say animosity, but maybe there's some reservation she has about Blackwater that she's not talking about.
Right. Let's play another round. Who's in this time? So Lyra, you're in. I'm in. Mia's in. Tal, Mel, whatever your
Does
name is.
she get to pick someone to?
No. So we all have to pick a number. We roll. Whoever's number it is gets to pick someone and ask them a question. And they either have to drink their entire drink or answer the question as truthfully as they can without incriminating anyone, and then takes it.
Or drink always.
All right, I'll
Sure.
play.
Sure, I'll
Nala,
play.
right?
Yeah, whatever.
Tal. Yep. Okay. Cool. So everybody pick a number.
She says, "Are you sure this
Right.
isn't just a way to get me to drink while asking me questions?"
Yes. It's a fair game. They're all about getting drunk and asking questions.
It's called getting
Well-
to know
Well,
somebody.
Lyra, if you want to go, we're not stopping you. Especially if you're not the drinking type. I wouldn't want to pressure you into it.
She says, "Well,
Don't tell her to leave. I'm on a date, man. Stop it.
I'd be happy to speak to you all. I just don't know if I want to drink too much."
How about
Oh, you
take a sip?
you can sit out then. That's fine.
No.
Yes, why don't
Just
I
take a sip.
sit out and let you all play and I will observe.
It's no fun.
Fun. All right. Let's try again.
All right.
All right, so we
You
don't
have
have to, unless you all want to go through the game manually, we
I'm
don't have
down.
to discuss. Well, yeah. So do you want to actually have this game while you're playing here and spend time on this, or do you want to just say
Oh
it
well,
happens?
we don't have to spend time. We can say it happens. That'd be
Alright.
fine.
So you're all sort of drinking, asking questions back and forth. It's very entertaining. Yeah, what does the group want to do after that?
What time is it?
Yeah, what time is it?
It is probably... Let's see. It's probably about 2 o'clock in the afternoon at this point.
How drunk is Lyra stealing?
Lyra is not drinking.
Right. No, right.
She's still nursing the same one. She seems to have no intention of getting drunk. But she is enjoying watching all of you talk and drink.
I am going to grab Riven, and I'm just going to announce that I have to pee, and he's coming with me for protection.
Okay. So the two
Let's
of you
go.
step out. Mel,
I want to imagine. I don't actually say anything. I just get grabbed from the scruff of my neck, picked up, and carried out. And nobody ever tries to say anything. It's like, okay, bye.
all right.
And when we get to the other side of the door where you can't hear anymore, I'm gonna tell Riven as I'm walking to the bathroom. Listen, they're going back down to clear it out tomorrow, and I'm gonna ask her to come hang out with me with the bears, and I'm gonna milk it as long as possible. I'm gonna hang out with her. There's guards at the end of the tunnel. Blackwater knows I'm not good at lying. You know I'm not good at lying, man. Did my best. We played this as long as we can. I'm gonna distract Lyra. And you guys, I think you need to get through those tunnels. I can show you, or tell you, where to go. And I think this is your this is a chance that if you can get time, talk to the guys, formulate something, but something has to happen tonight. Because Blackwater knows. So I'm gonna get Lyra out of the picture. You get the rest of the guys on the same track, get something done. It's gotta happen tonight. They're going back in tomorrow.
While
And
she's
then I'm
away.
gonna proceed to take him into the bathroom with me as I pee.
Okay. When she leaves, I'm going to pull out some cards, and I'm gonna say, "Well, I can see drinking is not your thing. How about we play some cards? I'm sure that would be energizing." Who wants to play?
Oh, I'm not very good with cards.
Oh,
I'll
come
sit this one
on.
out.
It's fun. Play some poker. Well, I could teach you something from my hometown. We call it Bobbit. What about you,
What about
Lyra?
Lyra?
Or I could show you how I do some legerdemain. I used to make a living tricking people on the side of the road.
Oh, I just realized I was muted. She says, yes, I would be happy to play some cards. You should join us, Meldonis.
All right. I must.
All right, so you play some cards with her. Give me, I guess, either intelligence or wisdom, probably, unless you want to cheat, then dexterity rolls. And you would have your proficiency now, Lo, since you're proficient.
Yeah, it's just +3.
So 13.
Yeah.
So that would be... No, well, Mallow, or Lyra does not do very good first round, and I believe Tal would win this hand. Looks like.
Ah, nicely done. Want to go again?
She says, sure. Alright, so Nalo would come out on top of this game, it looks like, winning the hand.
Told you I'm no good at cards.
Oh, that's all good. You want to see how I do legerdemain?
Excuse me?
Oh, trickery. I'll just show you some tricks. Maybe you can figure it out if you're good enough.
Oh, alright. Certainly I can watch you do some tricks.
And I'll do some magic tricks.
Alright, so you do some sleight of hand with the cards, putting on a little performance for her, and she says, oh, that's quite a interesting talent. I would be no good at doing something like that, but yes, very well done. And she gives you a little round of applause. So, I guess, what are you trying to do with Lyra here? Anything in particular, or?
I'm just trying to, I don't know, make her see us not as, like, buffoons.
Oh, well, you don't get
Just
the
sort of being
feeling...
nice.
You don't get the feeling she thinks you're buffoons. She is... From the insight check, she seems like she likes your group. She just is not completely sure of your motives right now.
Mm-hmm. I
But,
see.
Yeah. So, I guess, Mia, you, while this is happening, you left with, who was it? Riven. And what are you two doing?
Well, hopefully she's finished peeing and she's let me out the bathroom.
I assume
I'm
she
just
has.
wrapping up, telling him everything that, telling him in case the guys do go down tonight to get into Black Waters, telling him how it's guarded and telling him how I think that they should take Meta and take one hero walking the front. And because Meta, he got to go where, other people don't. He got to follow Lyra. He clearly can walk wherever. And obviously there's a buzz in the castle that Mia was down there, so it might be more palatable that a hero is walking with Meta. Maybe they got curious, heard that Mia cleared some stuff out and had gone down there, whatever. And then when the gates are open, that all heroes can charge if they want to do a full frontal assault, because they're going back down tomorrow and Blackwater sees right through Mia and all of that. So I'm explaining all of that in the bathroom, the privacy of the bathroom, and as we walk back.
Alright, what was Tal doing during all this?
I mean, I was playing cards.
That's right. So...
Yeah, and I'm thinking about if I want to give it one more try. Yeah.
You want
I mean, no, I want to try something with her. Like, I'm
okay.
gonna say, I mean, we were talking about the Hobgoblins earlier. How did they come here? Because they were here when I arrived. How did all of this start?
How did all of what start?
with the hobgoblins. They just
Oh,
arrived
the
here.
Iron Tide.
Yeah.
So she
And
says,
I want
go
to
ahead.
specifically inside check her and know, like if she knows that Blackwater got them here.
Give me a persuasion or deception, your choice.
Oh no, okay.
So she says, well, the Iron Tide, from what I know, seemingly just attacked Blackwater during his digs to the north of here. I'm guessing they were in the area for some reason, but I don't really know why.
I'd like to roll insight.
You think that she is telling the truth from what she knows?
Okay.
So she might not have been involved in the dealings with the Iron Tide, which would make sense. I don't think Blackwater, or you don't think Blackwater would do that with all his people around. It'd probably
Okay.
dealing with someone from the what is it, Nass something.
I'm gonna give Nello like a should we tell her look.
Okay. And I'm gonna sort of like nod at Tal, and I'm gonna sort of like take on a dark face, and I'm gonna start talking to Lyra. And I'd like to do like a partial deception, but I'll roll after I'm done speaking. Well, you know, Lyra, there's more to this than you think. We're not entirely sure ourselves, but Blackwater, we know one thing. He's not being entirely truthful when it comes to the hobgoblins. Currently, we're investigating the Blood Hand and trying to see what all this has to do because they're connected, the three of them, the Blood Hand, Blackwater, and the invasions from the Iron Tide. And I'll roll deception with inspiration.
What is your deception here? What do you deceive? her
Sort of
about?
like that we don't really know, but we're currently like investigating. That we're in the dark, sort of like, but we have our doubts about everything.
So that you don't know why the Iron Tide attacked? Is that what you mean?
Can I add
The
to that?
connection. Yeah, Tal can add.
You know, we took a hobgoblin prisoner before we came back,
Oh,
and he claimed that Blackwater was the one who hired them.
she looks a bit unsure. She says, "Well, I mean, this is a prisoner of the enemy. I mean, he could have just been lying to you, right?"
Not in a circle of truth.
It's a very strange lie.
Oh no, it is perception. Wait, deception.
Yeah, that would be deception because you didn't actually
yeah.
do a circle of truth.
Searching for it. Where is it?
Deception should be on the skill list.
Right under athletics. Or it is for me, at least.
Yeah, whatever. It's a charisma skill. It's the same.
Performance.
So a
alright.
12. Yeah, it's deception. I can't find deception on my list.
So she again seems kind of oh, it's well, she again seems a bit unsure of that. She says how would she respond to this? Is deception not on your list? Let me
Oh, I just found it here. But it's the same role as performance,
Okay.
so
she says are you sure you're being honest? I don't think that it would make sense. Why would Blackwater hire these hobgoblins to attack his own town? What would he gain from that? He's probably spent thousands of gold pieces helping the town to recover, sending money to the mayor. I mean, why? What would the point of that be?
Well, Lyra, we're not necessarily in any position to question Blackwater. He's cold enough as it is with us, but I would urge you to ask him about it because there's more to it than meets the eye. And if you could come back to us, we'd like to know what you find out. That would be great.
Give me a persuasion check. I can see. Blackwater doesn't speak to me. I'd like to think we're somewhat friendly with each other, but he doesn't speak to me much outside of our actual work together. He's not the most charismatic individual. Although, and she kind of trails off and just shrugs and says, I'll see what I can do.
Please do, because, well, it's just a hunch, sort of sour feeling in our party that there's more to this than, well, meets the eye.
She nods and says, that is a strange. Yeah, it would be very strange of him to do something like that. I don't even know how I'd bring it up, but yeah, I'll try to ask him. But enough talk of Blackwater and all this. Perhaps I should get going. I don't know about Meldonis, but I do have other work I need to take care of.
Me and Mia come back yet?
Yeah, you guys are back at this point.
Okay. I'm gonna say, but I really wanted to introduce you to the bears.
Oh right, the
Oh,
bears. Yes, we can go. We can go look at the bears. And Scurry, you could probably come back down if you wanted to, because the long rest is going to be the rest of the day. If you wanted to come back and just talk to them, that would probably be fine. You don't have to just sit
So
up
we
in your
wouldn't
room.
be able to long rest now and wake up like in the evening / middle of the night.
You cannot benefit from a long rest more than once every 24 hours, so you can't benefit from a long rest until tomorrow morning. You can still be resting, but you wouldn't get any of your powers back or drop your sickness. So at this point, yeah, you would have to wait till you could pass a long rest to actually get a long rest rule-wise.
Before Mia and Lyra leave, I'm gonna give her 50 copper and tell her to go get some nice meat for the bears to reward them.
Yes,
Alright, so you get a bunch
it's so much money.
you get some copper and head to the marketplace to get some meat. And I'm guessing, so Mia is leaving with Lyra to go do that. What about the rest of you? What are you doing?
I'm going to stay back with the group
Okay.
after they leave. Wait for a couple minutes before saying anything.
Alright, so yeah, we'll say Mia and Lyra went to the market. The rest of you are here, though. We can even say that maybe Scurry wandered down at some point. Unless you don't want to be part of the conversation, Scurry.
No, wander down.
Okay. So the 5 of you are there.
Right. So, we cannot go back down there for at least another day. Blackwater's sending men to map that entire place.
Well, we could go in when we're finally making the attack, right?
Oh yes, but tomorrow specifically, they're sending people down there.
Well, that's perfect because I've actually got a plan. But we should probably head back into the private room for this kind of chat.
You are in the private room right now.
We are.
Oh, we are? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so what I was cooking up while I was upstairs in my room trying to get some of my strength back is, what if Meldonis goes in and joins the party exploring the catacombs for Blackwater's side, potentially buying us a little bit of time. Meanwhile, what we do is we go to the Bloodhand and we set up an ambush inside of the catacombs So practically what we're doing is the moment that Maldonis leads them into like the cut-off room with the water in it, we ambush them. We take as many out as we can, or we take them all out, rather. Some of them probably non-lethal, if not all of them. We disguise ourselves as the members of that initial exploration party. Probably our party towards the back, obviously, consider we're all not really human and gonna be easy to point out of it. Then what we'll do is we'll just head back up the normal way into Blackwater's mansion, the same way that Mildonis would have, entered in, as well as the rest of his party. And then we use the initial surprise to take out the Crossbow men and just straight up lead the assault from that point on, hopefully with causing as little alarm as possible.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Sounds like pretty good plan, actually.
Well, Mia said something to me about us attacking the keep while they were down in the mapping the caverns tomorrow. So we go over the roof, Maldonna sneaks one of us in, we open the gates, and we rush in while they're all down there.
My main issue is that we already know that there is a lot of like magic protections and stuff like that, and there's going to be guards stationed outside of the compound regardless. My main thing is getting inside, not causing too much of a ruckus outside, and taking out as many people as we can before we actually enter the manor itself.
Should we see
So
what our little...
unless Blackwater actually managed to put up magical defense systems in an evening, which I doubt, we should be alright.
he's known
Well,
about things before.
he does have an ability to scry throughout the entire estate. Our little friend in there apparently found that out.
So would it be worthwhile seeing what else she knows?
I could try and speak with her tonight.
Yeah, speak with her and probably have her leave, because if we are assaulting the manor, I wouldn't want her getting caught in the crossfire, unless she's fine with that.
Unless she can get the ring while we're distracting them with something else.
Seems dangerous. I don't know. Blackwater's probably more scholarly than Brawny, but she is just a girl, I feel like.
I wouldn't really underestimate Lord Blackwater. Or really anyone from that matter.
True. But I like Scurry's plan, but if we actually are moving tomorrow, then time is of the essence, and we should communicate with the Bloodhand right away.
And here's the other thing. If we can get them into the room with the living zombies, we can use Nalo's unseen servant to press the wrong buttons and set the firebombs off that will kill them. If we get all those people in a room.
That's actually genius. We can hide the unseen servant inside of the fireplace and then have him just randomly press buttons.
The problem is, I don't know where we're going to hide to do that, because Nalo's got to be so close.
Oh, I could create something.
I can be within 60 feet, so we can actually close the door.
I suppose me and Nalo could be invisible and do it, because I can fly him over the water, but then they've got to get across the water.
That's actually perfect, especially if Madonna's is going with him, because remember that one room that is like the last one we explored? That still had the skeletons, the exploding skeletons up?
Yep.
What if we get Maldonis to put, to get all of his men in there, and then we set off the fireplace there? The skeletons will also explode, causing the fire explosion. At that point, all we gotta do is finish off the stragglers.
And the problem then becomes who he sends in there. If he sends in that holy cleric, I don't think the fire's going to do that much damage to him, and then we're fucked.
Well, no, that won't matter, because we're also there. We'll be hiding in the spider room.
But, I mean, he's not going to take that much damage, and I don't know how much damage we'll be able to deal with to him, because we've also got to do that, and then attack Blackwater's mansion. And if he takes...
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we take out the people first in
Yeah.
the exploration party, and then we go assault Blackwater.
Okay.
So practically, we take out as many of his forces as we can, and then we go into the mansion.
And I suppose in a worst case scenario, we set off the first unseen servant with the zombies, and then as they're going back, because they'll have to go through the other room before the pentagram, we can set that one off as well.
True. But I was thinking we just pick him off as they try and run or survive.
Can do, but the other one might do more damage and save us using energy and power and health.
True. Depending on how many men are down there. We'll,
But then are we
see.
telling the Bloodhand to clear out from the underground in case they go exploring and find them, or shall we get them to trap them underground? Like,
I'm saying we take the Bloodhand with us. We
Yeah.
tell the Bloodhand that we've cleared it out, that we found the path to Blackwater's estate, and that is happening tonight, or well, tomorrow morning.
Well, tomorrow morning, yeah. We need to be in the mines or in the tunnels tomorrow morning
So just
so that we can intercept them.
to quickly clarify, the group doesn't actually know a path yet, right?
Mia does.
I mean, Mia
Mia
went.
doesn't. She
Mia
told
went with
them.
them. That doesn't mean she could find the way again, because those are like sprawling tunnels that she went through. It's not
But
like
she's
it's
got
not like a
nature.
2-minute walk. I mean, you could certainly try to navigate, but you would still be doing some exploration.
Well,
When
If
I
that,
if,
and Meldonis would be going
yeah.
down there with the rest of the party, so he would have it in fresh memory.
so, but
Yeah.
yeah, if we find the party that came from the place, we'd be able to connect the two together and go back.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
Maldonis went with, then he could probably. You would guess also that since Lyra went down there, she might have actually drawn up a map already.
Well, that's what I was trying to find out
Lyra-
before was the map from the mansion to the Tarsus place, and but all she had was just Tarsus. She
what
didn't
we'd
have
already
the
seen.
catacomb.
I'm
Yeah,
being dumb here, by the way. Sorry, Mia. I forgot to mention the second part of the plan, which is we obviously disguise ourselves as the party that we just took out, especially the Bloodhand people. We take their clothes, put them on. That way we can get through the initial defense barrier with the crossbows easy. Did I mention that?
I think
First
you
off,
would.
I wasn't actually there for that conversation. I was just trying to get some clarification because, you know, Lyra had shown the maps to Maldonis, and she only had mapped, what we had seen. But also, like, clearly she would have had mapped that. I assumed it was just like a little straightaway tunnel or something like that because
No, it's
Maldonis would have seen that.
it would be a large
if
area,
she had a
though.
map.
You could assume that maybe one of the scouts that were with her has a map, since they've been exploring those tunnels for a while. It's likely that someone has a map of those tunnels. But Mia, you're not here right now. You're off in the.
Yeah, I'm not here. I was
marketplace.
just asking for clarification. I was just trying
Gotcha.
to.
Yeah,
Also, if we managed to kidnap a scouting party, they would have maps on them that
probably.
would
Yeah.
lead back. Although, if we explode them, maybe the map could get
if they explode,
harmed.
Yeah, you
Unless
at first
Maldonis-
were like, let's take them prisoner. Then you're like, let's just firebomb them. Because most people would not survive a fireball like that. You guys survive because you're mercenaries.
Right, and if you guys are like trying to go in,
I didn't. I
like
died.
in their costume, like in their to disguise yourselves, you need their clothes.
Yeah. Also, if we blow it up, Meldonis could get caught in the crossfire. So I say we just.
Oh no, I'll be standing back.
Yeah,
I see.
I
I
would
could just
prefer a
lift the wind in
non-lethal
there.
option. Those
Yeah.
guys don't really deserve it, probably.
Well, unfortunately, either we kill them before having to fight them, or we fight them and then kill them. I choose the option where I don't run the risk of dying.
Well, you could take them prisoner. I mean, you can knock people out with non-lethal damage.
Yeah, but knock all of them out? It's
It,
gonna
it would
take
be.
a
It
lot.
would definitely be harder.
I mean, we could, like Scurry was saying, bring the Bloodhand with us.
I mean,
yeah.
you've
Have numbers on our
you've got
side.
Spare the Dying, right?
I have.
Yeah.
Tal,
Yeah.
well, there we go. We pull the trap. We cast Spare the Dying. We tie him up there.
But
They'll
it's light
survive.
touch, I think.
It only works on unconscious people who are on the verge of death, not piles of ashes.
I mean, I doubt they'd just instantly incinerate. We
Why
were
did
fine.
They actually probably would instantly incinerate. Most normal people, as I said, caught in like a firebomb like that would just die. You all
Can
are
I roll
just
persuasion for Tal?
sure, sure. You could try to do some trickery. Oh yeah, they'll be fine.
Mia's not here, but if any of you didn't notice, the DM, very important man, just said the Bloodhand probably wouldn't mind killing them.
Oh well, that
Yeah.
I was being cheeky. I was the blood
Dang
hand
it!
wouldn't.
I mean, they probably wouldn't
Have
mind.
hope,
if you
my
guys want to
man.
They
keep
are-
your conscience clear, be like, yeah, we're just gonna lead them down there. You guys can take care of it, right?
Right. Dang it.
I mean,
Easy payday.
if we're assaulting the manor, we probably just have to accept that some people are gonna die.
Or we might be able to, if the Bloodhound might know a way to set a cave in and trap them underground, and then we just dig them out later.
I feel like they'd die as well if they got cascaded in rubble.
Alright, then we burn them alive, it's quicker.
Although, if we take one of the scouts prisoner, they probably would lead us back, even if they didn't have a map. Sort of their
right.
specialty.
Save one, kill the rest.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow, yeah.
yeah. All right. Well,
Sounds about right. Well, we have to go send someone to the Bloodhand right away. I can go, or maybe Scurry, actually. Do you mind?
I'd rather not get seen in public
Oh.
while looking like a ghoul.
Me and Nala
Alright.
can go. I'll turn us invisible.
Let's go.
all right. So you're gonna go talk to Cithril and her people.
Yeah, or maybe Neil if she's not there.
All right. So
I'm gonna go back to Blackwater's estate while they're doing that.
okay. So the group splits up a bit,
I'm
doing.
gonna identify the dagger we found.
All right. So that's I can do the dagger quickly. I mean, you have your pearl and everything, right?
Yeah.
So the dagger is a +1 dagger. It's a magical weapon. There's nothing much else about it, just enhancements to attack and damage. And I think you found a potion as well. Did you want to identify that?
Oh yeah, sure.
The potion is a potion of water breathing.
Give both to Scurry. You're probably gonna want this.
Okay.
What were the potions?
Water breathing potion and +1 dagger.
Magical dagger.
Ooh, +1 dagger. Nice.
Yeah, that was what was found in the flooded tunnel. Apparently, the guy could not get to the potion of water breathing, unfortunately. All right.
Yeah, irony.
The irony. So, let's see. We have Meldonis going to the Blackwater estate, and we have who was going to speak with Cithril?
Me and Riven.
Riven and Nalo. So the two of you head over there. You would be admitted. The guy at the front door recognizes you and just lets you in. And Cithril is here right now. She nods and says, "Greetings, heroes."
Oh, and before I leave, could I have given the party treasury back to Scurry? I assume it was like his pack. That I was keeping.
Yeah. I mean, sure, that's fine.
Also, can you check out these 3 vials that we found in the second alchemist room? Tell when
Yeah,
you get the
sure.
chance.
I'm gonna identify them all.
All right. Well, I'll get back to you. Where's Cithril?
So Cithril is there?
Yes, she is there.
It was a bit of a sad face.
She greets you all. As I said, she welcomes you. She says, "Any news from the exploration? How is that going?"
Bad news. Blackwater sort of knows that we know something about the tunnels, and he is actually sending scouts out tomorrow to map the tunnels. And we believe that we have to act tomorrow, basically.
She says, well, he's known about the tunnels for quite some time. I would guess that he already has much of it mapped. Did you
Yes, but he,
find... Go ahead.
I was gonna say, as you say, yes, but now with us opening up the sections, he's now found a way to connect from the tunnels he has to the tunnels you have. So now he knows how to get all over the tunnels you've found and your hidey holes.
Well, it's not going to be that simple for him. I don't know what his side of the maze is, but our side took us weeks to explore. I don't think he's just going to find a way into our bases that quickly. Still, this does pose a danger if his people are now coming into our areas. Also, a possible opportunity for ambushes. How much does he know about our section of the tunnels? Does he know that we've discovered them, or just has he seen you all down there?
He has seen a single member of our party, Mia, so he sort of
But
knows that.
But he doesn't believe that she's the only one who's been down there. She told me he doesn't believe anything she said. So basically, he thinks we know about the underground tunnels.
Oh, Mia.
But
she sighs.
He may not know that the Blood Hand is directly involved.
No, I would doubt he would know, or I doubt he knows that we know of the tunnels, unless he's seen our people. And if he is going to start coming into our areas, I will have to pull our people back for the time being, as I don't want him to know that we know about that. He says, thank you for this information.
Cithril, is it possible to attack Blackwater tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
Is that a possibility?
Do you have a path to his estate? I feel this might be a bit quick.
Well, it's sort of a gamble, but we're thinking if we kidnap one of the scouts, then we'd be able to find our way through and attack using the map the scout has, or perhaps even coercion if we keep him alive. And Meldonis is doing his best to go out tomorrow with one of the groups. So if we actually connect with a group that Meldonis has, a scout party where he is there, he'd be able to lead us through.
It's a bit soon. I was hoping we could maybe whittle his forces down with sneak attacks within the tunnel, especially if he doesn't know that we have that knowledge. I was hoping also to send some scouts into those tunnels to get a better idea of the layout. Unless there is some reason why attacking right now would be beneficial, I feel we should wait.
Here's the thing.
Well, our party wants to attack sooner rather than later, and we're sort of not really sure how Blackwater is going to react to this. If we attack sooner, we may still get a sneak attack, but I feel like as soon as he knows that we're down there, then he'll...
He knows you all, or he probably suspects you all are down there, but he doesn't know of the connection you have with me or my people. At least I don't think he does. So
it
he
wouldn't
could...
be
Or go ahead.
too much of a stretch, I don't think. There's not really
He's had people following us, and he thinks we may have a connection. That's what Meldonis told us when we first met him. That he thinks we may be connected, if I remember correctly.
She says that could be more dangerous then. She says we still have the city to deal with. If we attack his keep directly, they will intercede, and then we'll have to fight him at the same time we're fighting off town guards, which are not most... Or go ahead.
2 ideas. In the underground dwarven city, there's a room with skeletons in that don't attack. That's got an illusionary fireplace, and if you press the wrong code, fireballs explode, the skeletons explode, and it does a lot of damage. So we're thinking Meldonis takes a lot of his mercenary forces into the room, explode all that, they all die.
Why would he send his mercenary forces down? He would just send down scholars. Unless he...
Well, no.
I mean, he would probably send some to protect his people, but I don't think he'd send his best.
if you've been down there, you know how deadly it is, and he'd send people down there because there's skeleton minotaurs, zombie skeletons, bodaks, countless things down there.
All
So we'd
right.
send them first to clear it all out.
All
Right?
right.
So that's the first bit. Then, when we attack, you have a diversion to keep the town guard distracted whilst we're attacking.
She says, well, I think that would be a good way to take out a small party of his mercenaries, but he has a lot of them working for him, guarding the house. If we were going to do a mass attack, I think you'd need my people, or else you might get overwhelmed, as he has a small army with him.
Yes,
what we're
that's
here
sort of where it boils down to. I'm curious. Do you think that there's a chance that one of the tunnels leads outside the city?
It's possible for sure, but I don't know if it would probably require more exploration to figure that out.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But if such a tunnel doesn't exist, then as long as we know the direct route to Blackwater's estate, then you wouldn't really need to explore anymore, unless you're concerned about potentially valuable things existing in the tunnels.
She pauses for a moment. She says, as much as I would like to claim treasures down there, I am more concerned with gaining control of the situation first. What good would come of a tunnel that led outside the town? Just out of curiosity.
Well, if we managed to steal the ring, if we had to leave through the front door and confront all the town guard, it would be an upward battle. But if we were able to slip back into the tunnels, it'd be very difficult for anyone that didn't have a map to follow us.
Are you speaking of a mass escape of the town to avoid fighting the guard and everyone else?
Just of the whoever stole the ring and the blood hand escaping through the tunnel outside the city, because I'm assuming that you don't want to. You'd be leaving anyway, right? After stealing the ring.
Yes, our plans are to move north towards the next location. What of Lyra? I know that you've been speaking to her. Is she interested in possibly joining with us on this expedition, or is she too attached to Blackwater?
She seems attached for the time being, but she also seems to be out of the loop.
All
If
right.
we were able to show some corruption of some sort, she may be willing, but it'd be difficult.
We don't know. She could swing with him or swing with us. It's entirely spitting in the wind at the minute.
Although I
Just like
would
of
I would
knowns.
gamble that she would stay with Blackwater. I don't think she could be an asset, at least currently.
But if we could find a tunnel that led outside, then we might be able to ask the Iron Tide for some soldiers and send them in as a distraction, and they could attack him from underground.
She says the Iron Tide. You think they would help us?
I think if it helps get him what he wants, the ring, then yeah.
Well, if we did enlist the Iron Tide to attack inside the city, it would only be a few individuals that are.
We just need enough people to keep his mercenaries busy while we go in through the front door with Maldonis helping us, and we steal the ring. That's it.
She says no.
They don't even have to kill everyone.
If we go in through the front door, it's going to be a bloodbath. It will not be stealing at that point. It will most
If they're all
likely be death to most of them. Probably.
But if they're all
Blackwater
fighting
included.
down in the, if they're all fighting downstairs in the tunnels, then they're not going to be a lot on the surface because they're dealing with the Iron Tide underground, and we can still kill Blackwater.
Well, that's the issue with fighting underground.
You're changing the plan a lot as we speak.
Yeah,
You first spoke of something small, and now the Iron Tide are showing up through a tunnel that we don't even know about yet.
Just an idea. It's just
Fairy,
an idea.
all right. So let me. She says, let me just say. I don't think we should attack this soon. There are a lot of variables, but I will defer to the wisdom of your group, as you seem to have been able to pull off the Iron Tide fiasco, which I wouldn't think anyone could do. take down a group that large. So I will leave it to your wisdom. If you wish to attack soon, I can have my forces ready, though I will need to hear more about the plan if that's the decision. My advice would be we wait, map the tunnels, gather information, see what more we can find out, at least for the time being.
How long can you keep your group gathered? Like if we were to gather but then call it off, I'm assuming that would be sort of not great.
I could have my people in the tunnels fairly quickly and easily. I would just have to. It would probably take a few hours to get word around that we were doing this, but I could get it set up. And if it didn't happen, then it didn't happen. We could, as long as we didn't commit to an actual attack, we could just fall back. That is assuming we were still within our section of the tunnels. Once we cross over into their section, they will know something is up. And at that point, it'll be a committed struggle. So why don't you?
How do you intend to escape this city? I'm just curious. Like when we steal the ring, are we leaving through?
All right. So I thought I told you my plan, but I can speak more of it. My plan was to first place my people into the government and take over the town, after which then I was going to attack Blackwater. It would involve
how long would that take?
The capture and basically taking over of the city and the city guards, which wouldn't actually be that hard if I was able to do it quietly, because these town guards are not the best trained. It would probably take several days.
What would it take for you to take charge of the town? Like, what are you going to have to do to take charge of a town this time?
She says mostly there are only a few people of danger that I'd have to capture or eliminate. Once that happened, there would be chaos in the town, and we could use the chaos and unknown to stage an attack on Blackwater. And he would have no support from the town, as they would obviously be busy with their own issues.
What kind of issues?
Well, without the guards, there would probably be theft and other such destruction that they'd have to deal with. I would assume that some small group of citizens would try to be taking order, gaining back power, and during that time, we would attack Blackwater and his people.
Although that would definitely leave the city in a lessened state.
Oh,
to say the least.
For certain, but then we could just walk out the gate once we have what we want. And we wouldn't have to worry about an attack from the town guard or Mayor Asher or any of her people.
And we just release the people we've captured at the end, because we're not killing them.
Yes, assuming we were able to capture them and they didn't try to fight to the death or anything.
What will it take for you to capture the few people in charge?
Well, that was actually going to be my next step after we knew more about the tunnels, was to employ you all to help me with that. If you don't want to be involved in that and want to stay clear of it, I would understand, and I could also just do that myself with my own people.
Well, how about this? How about you have your people gather tomorrow morning, and we'll just see if the if everything seems to be set perfectly and the wind is at our backs, then maybe we can go forward with it. But if not, we'll just postpone to a later date.
Yes, why don't you go discuss with your people and decide what you want to do. Now that you know more about my plan and how I would execute things, you can decide if you want to go that route or if you want to try something a little bit quicker and messier.
Yes, but you could have them gathered by tomorrow morning, even if we do call it off, right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, we'll plan on that for now, but we promise not to be hasty, and we'll think very thoroughly about this.
She says, excellent. And yeah, tell me what Scurry and all of them think, and we can finalize our plans soon. We probably do have to work quicker to get everything going now that Blackwater knows that you're all down there, especially if he feels there's a link between us.
Of course.
All right, so that's it for you two.
Yep.
As
Sorry.
for going back, sorry.
So Meldonis, I'm going to cut to you at this point. What are you doing
Okay.
where you are?
Well, I'm gonna meet up with Lord Blackwater in the estate.
All right. So he, when you get there, he's in the main hall speaking to several of his people. He would nod as you approach and say, "Hello, Meldonis. Did drinks go well?"
Yes. If you don't mind, I would like to have a word with you in private.
He gives you a little bit of a funny look and says, "Very well," and he kind of motions for the others to walk away as he takes you to his office. He says, "Yes, what is it?"
Give me 1 second.
Actually, I'm going to use this time to take some notes of my own. Let me know when you get back, Meldonis, if you can hear me. Mia, I'm guessing you were just with Lyra hanging out with the bears right now, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna hang out with Lyra, try to connect with her on a personal level, try to see if I can get anything useful from her, or even gain her affections or trust in any way.
So which of those are you working on? Are you more trying to get information out of her, to build rapport with her? Like, which thing are you doing?
Probably build rapport for the most part, but if she gives me anything, I'm just taking mental note.
Alright, give me a persuasion check, as you're kind of hanging
Oh
out with her.
god. Oh yay.
Alright, so, yeah, the two of you hang out. She seems to enjoy being around the bears. She would start giving you a bunch of useless information. Well, not useless probably to you, information about bears and the different species and behavior. Stuff that you mostly know anyway, and some other stuff that you're probably not that interested in. But yeah, you think that she is enjoying hanging out with you. Tal, what are you doing in all this?
Identifying potions.
Oh yeah,
And
those
waiting
other
for
two
us to come back.
potions. And Scurry, I assume you're kind of resting.
Yeah, I guess since I can't long rest, I'm just hanging out with Tal, waiting for him to appraise those 3 potions.
Alright, so where did those potions come from? Oh, I see. So yeah, let me do those potions real quick. So give me a D10 roll, one of you. So the first one is a potion of climbing. Let me mark that here. Wait, where'd those potions go? There we go. Alright, so yeah, the first one's a potion of climbing. Give me another d10 roll.
There was a 3.
3. Alright. The second one is a potion of gaseous form.
Balance that.
And one more d10 roll. Is that another 3?
Apparently.
Alright, another 3. That is going to be a... oh, that is a potion of fire giant strength. Wow. Good rolls, apparently. Usually it's 3 healing potions.
And just making sure Scurry's
Nice.
doing the party treasury now, or
You're marking those down, Scurry? Okay. So you got those 3 potions. Meldonis, are you there?
Yeah. They're about to cut power in my apartment, so I had to switch over my phone.
Oh, alright. Hopefully everything's okay there.
Yeah.
So he takes you into the office and says, what is it, Meldonis? You know I'm very busy.
Well, I think I might have found a link between. It's the what was the thing that he had me research?
Isaac?
Yeah. I think I might have found a link between Isaac and the underground tunnels beneath here.
Oh? What have you found?
Well, I've heard rumors of an artifact down there that might be the key we need to finding Isaac. The secrets, that is.
He says, well, what artifact is this? Why are you being so mysterious? What have you found?
All I found are stories of such an artifact in tales. I think with your group going down tomorrow, we might be able to find something.
I see. Do you have information on where this artifact is or what it is?
No, I do not.
But
I do believe it's down there.
Give me a deception check.
Okay, I'm gonna use an inspiration for this.
All right. Make an inspired deception check.
Boom.
He says, I see. Well, although I would like to know more about what this artifact is or where it might be. Do you have the lore that led you to this hypothesis? May I see what you've read?
I do not. Remember those bandits I was telling you about?
Yes.
Well, one of them happened to get into my pack, and, well, as things were getting confrontational, the papers I had on this were unfortunately destroyed.
Give me another deception check.
Okay. I'll do another inspiration because I got 2 of them right.
Well, I'm not sure how many you have, but yeah, if you want, you can use a second one if you have 2.
Because I start off with 1, correct?
Yes, you do start off with
And then
1.
I got 1 on the very first session, so yeah. I'm gonna do
Okay,
it again.
so yeah, then you have 2.
Didn't even need it.
All right, well, he nods and says, well, that's unfortunate. All right, so you say there is an artifact. You don't know what it is, but it has secrets on Isaac. And you sure this has something to do with the vault we're seeking?
Yes.
All right, what part of the tunnels exactly are we searching in for this artifact? Is this something in the halls of Tarsus or in the areas before, or possibly in the areas beyond? Do you at least know that?
I believe it is in the halls of Tarsus. The name Tarsus was mentioned.
He says, all right. Do you think maybe Mia may have already taken this artifact since she seems to have somehow gotten there before us?
I don't think so, but maybe if we bring her with us, it's very possible that we could find out.
He says, well, you spoke to her. Did she speak of any of the things she found down there?
No. It was all talk of alcohol and killing. Honestly, I don't think she's much into trinkets.
I see. All right, well, I'm curious to know more about what this artifact does. Can you give me any more information?
Well, honestly, I'm not sure. But when we retrieve the artifacts, we will know 100% what it does.
And but you would know what it is if you saw it, is what you're telling me.
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, I can send some people down there with you. If this Mia has truly cleared the halls, then it shouldn't be too hard to find it. I guess I could send Lyra and some of the soldiers down there, along with maybe one of my higher-end mercenaries, just to keep an eye on things. What else do you need?
Well, we really don't know what all is down there, or even how much this Mia has actually cleared out. So, possibly a slightly larger force wouldn't hurt.
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay.
Alright.
Rats.
He says, I think I would like to assess before I send too many people down there. I'll have Lyra give me a report. Because from what she's written so far, it sounds like it wasn't too dangerous. But if there are further areas she needs to explore, which, well, according to her report, she was stopped midway through by this Mia. So once she gets more of an idea of the danger, I'll see if we need more people. She says, I don't want to send too many people down there just yet.
All right.
Is there anything else then, Maldonis?
No, that is all.
All right. Good job on that, and we'll have our answers soon. I think. Hopefully, this artifact will lead to more concrete answers about where the vault is within Issac. I'm curious to find out more about this.
As am I.
All right, so Riven and Nalo, I assume, are heading back to the Maplewood after this.
Yes.
What about? Oh God.
As we're heading back, I'm going to decide what I'm going to do. I'm going to telepathic speech into Nalo's head, and basically ask him which plan he'd rather do. Does he rather take control of the town, or just try and kill everyone?
Well, if I had my way, and there was actually a tunnel in the caves, I'd say we just get to Blackwater as fast as possible and then leave the tunnel.
So you don't want to take control of the town?
Well, no, because if we take control and then after we leave, well, everyone who's in control would then leave, and suddenly the town is thrown into chaos, and there's pillaging and raping and who knows what.
we're not going to get there without killing all of his mercenaries, which is going to be difficult.
Perhaps.
And then you're going to have the town's guard who will come and help him. So we're going to have to kill basically the entire town.
Well, if the town's guard take a while to get there, we might be able to get out before they arrive. And if it is a sort of stealth operation, we might be able to move silently. You weren't there, but one time we took a sort of camp, a hobgoblin camp, mostly through stealth. It's quite exhilarating, to be honest.
All right. All right.
So I'll say the two of you go back to the Maplewood. Meldonis, you are able to find Alira. She's just doing some cleaning, it looks like. She says, Master Meldonis, and she bows to you and smiles.
Alira, I need your assistance out to the town getting some supplies. If you wouldn't mind accompanying me.
Of course. And she kind of puts down the her duster and walks with you out of the house.
Okay. Once we get a bit ways down the road, I'll look to her. So have you found anything?
She says, in the one day I've been cleaning, I've found the scribing, or sorry, not the scribing, the scrying, as I had said. But, I mean, I really haven't been there that long. I think, if I had to guess, I think Blackwater has the ring that you want on him. Because he does seem to, from what I've sort of observed him a bit, and he does seem like he is continually touching one of his rings and like kind of tapping on it, almost like he fears it will suddenly be gone. I've seen people do that before with things they highly value. So if this ring is as valuable as you've said, I would guess that it's on his finger.
All right.
Which makes it more complicated to get off of him.
We may not need to actually steal it from him. We'll take it, but
she says,
not necessarily while he's alive.
Oh, is it turned into more of that kind of plan?
Oh, yes.
She says, well, there is a chance I could get it off of him. It's a long shot. I would have to try to do something while he was sleeping, probably sneak into his room. Although I would guess he probably has magics to protect against that. But
oh, yes.
If that were the case, and I could somehow know more about the traps and magics, I might be able to avoid them and get the ring. But that would take time, for sure.
Well, if in the next couple of days you hear in the house a lot of fighting, I would recommend going to my room and shutting the door. I assume you know where that's at?
I do. Now, if you are planning to attack the manor, perhaps you could just tell me when that's happening, and I will not be present. That would be preferred.
I will do my best to try and let you know.
All right. Thank you. I would much appreciate staying out of the line of fire of a huge battle like that, especially since most of your people don't know who I am. I'd most likely just be killed.
That is fair.
All right.
I will actually take her out to the trade district and.
All right. So you spend some time in the market to make your story make sense, and then I assume. Well, are you heading back to the Blackwater estate, or are you going to go to the Maplewood?
We'll go to the Maplewood.
All All right. So you bring her with you, or are you sending her back alone? Oh, I see. Okay.
I'll bring her with me.
So why don't we take a quick 5-minute break, and then I will reconvene with all of you at the Maplewood so we can discuss. All right. So I'll be back at about 1:15-ish.
Out of character, real quick, I do feel like we we need to start committing to some plans. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be mine either, but we need to decide what we want to do and just go for it instead of trying to find a million deviations. Because I don't know, I feel like it's taken up a lot of time in RP and out of sessions to try and figure out other stuff that might not necessarily be very, viable.
That's fair.
Scurry just wants to kill everyone.
Meldonis only wants to kill one person.
Mia's always down for a massacre, so.
I'm not like Riven's not, but it just. At least Riven just doesn't want a big drawn out. It just doesn't think we'll survive it. I'd say Riven's more geared towards doing the taking out the town leaders and then sneaking in. But
I mean, we can do that as well. We can just assassinate the town's guard one by one.
No, not assassinate. Like, I meant take prisoner. I'm not entirely down for killing everyone.
I could sneak into their house, make sure they don't wake up.
I feel like we should formulate 6 different plans, right? Then, in true D&D fashion, we take a 60 and we roll it and we go with whatever the fate tells us.
No,
we could pray to Jesus.
We do 11 or higher. We massacre everyone. 10 or below.
I mean, it's not a bad idea to take the most prevalent plans, because right now we're still only partially through any plan. So
Scrooge is going.
Stop rolling!
It's 12.
What are you doing? Those are D20s.
That's what it was. But I just loved he was just doing it until he got above an 11.
Trying to narrow down from 20 possible plans. Jeez.
No, I just went with 11 or above, we kill everyone. 10 or below, we play the long game. And that was literally...
So...
I was thinking one plan that I think could maybe potentially work is if when Meldonis brings his group in, if we succeed in ambushing the entire group and capture, kill, whatever, everyone but Meldonis, and then manage to go back to the door, Meldonis can go through the door and find Blackwater and say, Blackwater, I found the artifact. It's massive. I can't move it.
Yeah, but he'd bring down people with him, and then we're
as long as he's in the tunnels and we manage to capture him, if we isolate him from
He wouldn't go down
people,
himself, he'd send people down. But that's a great idea, regardless. It's classic war tactics. You take out one bunch, and then you have the medics or the help or reinforcements come in, and you kill them.
I
It's
had
a
a
great
crazy
idea,
idea.
to be
I had
honest.
a crazy idea when they were talking about he keeps the ring on him at all times. When he sleeps, I'm assuming he's got a window. Riven can fly, so
But
Like I said,
magic.
there's probably magic to keep it on there. So I am more partial to the idea of bottlenecking them and bringing people in through the tunnels and getting taking them out group by group in one way or another.
What it comes down
Um,
to is, Meldonis, do you have any inspiration points left?
Nope.
Fuck.
What if I
Can I give
inspire
him
him?
mine?
It's not
no,
how
I
it works,
don't.
sadly.
Dang it!
If
No,
I have
but
spell
I'm a
slots left,
bard.
I
That's
can
like my
inspire him.
that's my whole thing. If I do bardic inspiration with inspiration, does he get inspiration?
He doesn't get double. Doesn't stack. I don't think.
Listen,
No, I mean,
I just
like, can
want to
I-
cast jump on someone.
Cast jump.
Because,
Yeah.
like, the deviation to the plan that I could see be beneficial is we take out the first group, and then we have Meldonis get reinforcements, and then take out them as well.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I don't want to detonate the big room with the zombies in until you get the most soldiers in it, because that's a one that will incinerate them all. And that's a one-time thing.
Right.
Then it's
Yeah.
just a
That's
one
why
fireball.
we'll only take
Well,
out
then we can
a
strategically
couple
when
of
the
them,
largest
which
wave
is what
comes in, take them
is
out.
being sent down.
So what if we just...
All right.
If we quietly take out the first group that's come to explore, we can take their clothes and disguise ourselves and strategically place ourselves while Maldonis brings in, say, something happened, whatever, a monster took a bunch of people out, whatever, has him bring down more people, and then him just repeatedly bringing people down and wiping out as many of the people in small groups as we can at a time.
I
Do we
think
have
that would
anything
only
that will
work
boost
once.
his chances of a deception check succeeding?
Mm,
I have
I'm already at
invincibility.
+10, so
I also
quick
want to state-
question. Riven and Nala, what are your passive perceptions?
it's 15.
Well,
Okay.
We're on
Double
break right
checking.
now. None of this counts. Don't listen. You can't. You can't.
Or
Are we-
I mean,
you can't know what we're up
it's
to.
1:15. We're back from break.
Okay.
Dang it!
Have me and Riven arrived at?
Yeah, so
would
you
you?
would have gotten back. And at this point, I think Alira and Meldonis are also there.
quick question, Nalo. Would you have freaked out about hearing my voice in your head without my lips moving?
No.
Okay.
In fact, my old instructor did that. The bard who taught me how to play. He did that a lot. It was annoying at first, but I got used to it.
Okay. I've never met anyone else who could do that. You've known someone else who could do it? I've never met anybody.
Well, he's dead now, but I did know him.
That's really weird. I don't like telling people I can do it because people get freaked out that I can read their mind.
Alright, so yeah, you two would get back and you would see everyone is assembled here along with Alira.
Alright, perfect. Let's talk things over then. How did things go at the Bloodhound? Are they ready
They
to
don't-
move tomorrow?
They don't like the plan of moving tomorrow. They want to wait.
I'll
They
say
want.
I'll say you could just tell him what
Yeah.
Sithril said. You
Blah,
don't have
blah,
to
Everything she said
rehash
about
it.
her. Yep. Her plan
She's-
wanting to be.
Yeah. She doesn't like it, but she's willing to gather the troops tomorrow, just to see if there's a possibility of attacking. But we can call it off.
Perfect. So, regardless, she is down for it as long as we come with a solid plan. That's fine, because we'll get one. My main thing is, if we take out the first group, what can we do in order to try and maximize the success of Mildonis going back and being more believable and asking for reinforcements so we can take out a second one?
Well, if you came back unscathed, it would definitely be sort of red flag. But if you came back with an
We can
injury,
send you
and
escape or
potentially.
whatever.
Yeah, if he was bloodied and whatnot, then it would be believable.
Mia
Wouldn't
could
that
help with
just
that.
block off the entrance?
I guess a couple of punches wouldn't really hurt.
Well, I was thinking
Probably
more like
Mira?
spill blood on his whatnot and a bit of makeup. I'm sure the blood hand has that sort of thing, and I could certainly do it.
That's fine, yeah. I think that's a great plan.
All right.
So that's what it's at. What we're
Cheers.
gonna try and do is try and convince the Blood Hand of that plan. We take our first group, we get them to send reinforcements, and then we take out those, and then we lead the frontal assault on Blackwater
If we're
through the
going to
tunnels.
surprise attack Maldonis and his first group, with the Blood Hand assembling people, would it make sense to hide them in the spider tunnel so that as he comes back, we all attack them, and then save the zombie explosions for when he comes down with the bigger force of soldiers?
I was thinking we use the first fire room for the first group and take out whatever elite mercenary might be coming with as well, just as a party by ganging up on him.
Maldonis, if you told him there was an artifact down there, is there any way we can convince him that the artifact cannot be moved and he has to take a look at it in person? So he comes down into the tunnels?
Like a mural, perhaps, like a large mural with writing
Oh,
you
there is a
can't.
mural. There's a mural in the zombie one.
I mean, I could figure something out to try and convince him to actually come down there.
Although, if it was something like a mural, he might send down like a
He would
painter.
probably send down more people to take it up.
I think it's very unlikely that he'll leave
Discover.
his castle to go into a
Yeah, it'd
underground.
be better to just have more
Yeah.
beefy guys sent back out.
Well, you
So-
do know, Maldonis, that there was that one time he did go into the tunnels right before he started acting strange.
Right.
So he has been down to the tunnels himself. He had people with him, obviously, some of his best men.
Right.
But yeah,
Maybe if the mural was like beautiful, like it was a work of art, like it was, like brilliant ceramic, 20 feet by 30 feet.
Really, I don't think it entirely matters what the artifact is, but we could. I could convince him to try and come down.
Although that is, I feel like it's one or the other, because either you go back and you're fine, or you go back and you're bloodied and you need reinforcements, right? So it's whichever one we think has the higher likelihood chance of working.
all right. So
Well,
what
I
does
guess
Skip
we
want to do?
could-
I mean, him coming down to the tunnels would be ideal, obviously. If we can do it convincingly.
And that's what I'm thinking. If we like
Yeah.
appeal to his like sense of appreciation for art and like things that are old, if it was like a really really large mural, particularly one that is like breathtaking or beautiful, or bizarre in some way.
Would
Or it could
DM
be a mechanism of some kind.
Would I have any knowledge of anything with the pentagram that repels me, of like a Fey dwarf history thing that nobody would really know except a Fenrig?
Do you have history?
Yeah.
Give me a history check if you have history.
Yay!
So now you talking about in like for the barrier
Trick,
that's
trick.
keeping you out?
Just a general bit that I could kind of say, like, oh, there's this mural of this thing that happened that no one really knows about because of and then that might get him to come down.
So, I mean, historically speaking, there's a lot of really cool things about the halls of Tarsus, from the architecture to some of those paintings that have been preserved, any of which could be of interest to a historian. Just going into that place is a bit of a treat because it's like a, like a time capsule of a different period.
You hear me?
Yeah, I mean, then he might be willing to go down there anyway, like as soon as he thinks it's safe. Shouldn't
So
be
the
too hard
plan is to ambush the first group, get Maldonis back up to the surface, convince him that it's safe, and get Blackwater down there himself.
Perfect roll.
Something like
Perfect roll. Yes.
Alright, well, I'm down for it.
Do you, does anyone remember what the? Because I have 2 paintings in my bag of holding. Do you remember what they were of? I know one was of a person.
I mean, and for the paintings, he just asked why you wouldn't bring the paintings back up.
No, but I'm saying like if you just brought a painting back up and said like, oh look at this painting I found, but also
There's some like cooler shit. Okay.
there's some like more like cool shit, right? Sort of like, especially if it was like a whole room full of paintings high on the wall and whatnot, or that the mural idea or whatever. Be kind of interesting, especially if the person in the painting was identifiable in some way, like a significant historical figure. Who knows? That's why I was wondering if DM would elaborate a bit on the paintings, or are they just sort of...
So are you talking about the paintings in the laboratory?
Yes.
They are pictures of what appear to be magical symbols of the different schools of magic.
Oh, okay, I see.
So they're more of an artwork than like a depiction of a great battle or anything. It looks like someone who is just really into magic, like kind of
I see.
did artistry of the different magical symbol schools.
Well, in that case, maybe the mural was of magical symbols and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff in the halls of Tarsus that would probably be of interest to Lord Blackwater, though you don't know if he personally would want to put himself in danger. He did it once, but yeah, ever since then, it doesn't seem like he's been leaving his house much. This is what Maldonis would know.
Like, we don't need to be too hasty if we want to get him down here. We could just, clear all the halls out, and then after a few days, when his people have been exploring it, maybe convince him to go down there. Create the illusion of safety first, and then strike.
The problem is we may lose that skeleton room because they might be able to figure out the code, and then we can't detonate it.
That we forget that the whole point that we're doing this is because they're onto us.
Yeah.
we need to act fast before they realize that we've taken out a bunch of stuff. We've explored and cleared it out completely.
I think we just attack Enforce tomorrow and get Maldonis to bring back reinforcements, and then end up... especially if we have certain people with the black hand or blood hand dress up with the outfits that were of the scouts, we could sort of come back sort of pretending to be bloody and battered and then just assault the mansion right away.
Exactly.
So it sounds like the plan is tomorrow you're going to try to get him to send some people down, ambush them, and then try to get people to come to help. Is that kind of the basics of it?
Yeah.
I mean, we can keep talking about it, but I'm fine. It sounds like you also kind of want to get things rolling, so do we want to just pass some time till tomorrow?
Yep.
Yeah, we're just going to keep going around in circles because we can't figure it out.
Yeah, because I feel like everyone just keeps talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I mean, we can say that you all are speaking about it more, but we don't have to RP it all out. Is there anything else the group wants to do for today before I pass time?
I'd like to train with the bears, or at least visit with the bears if Mia's still with them.
Yeah, I assume Mia was in that meeting, but afterwards you could train with the bears a bit. Are you trying to train them to do something new?
Oh no, I'm just
Hi.
continuing the domestication. So that's what I was
Alright.
doing before. It was like 8 days, I believe.
So you're still working on that project?
Yes.
Alright.
But I will prepare as well. Tomorrow morning, I want to take the bears out, or maybe I'll do it tonight. Actually, I want to take them out of the city
Okay.
Anywhere
through
the
the
bears go,
through
I'm
the
going.
southern gate, and I'll set up like a small camp, maybe like 2 miles away.
So I have beast sense, if you guys didn't know, and that's part of why I've been spending so much time with the bears.
Ooh.
So I can utilize beast sense. Um, put it right there so you can read it.
That's
No, that's
jump.
the wrong one. Sorry. Clicked the wrong one. There you go.
That speaks animals.
Is that what you mean by bee sense? Speak with animals?
Beast sense.
Where is it
Sounds
at?
about right.
Oh, gosh. Darn it. It's the very bottom. My bad.
Okay.
There you go.
Alright.
But yeah, that's just my kind of long, because I know that the War of an Egg is going to take a long time. So that's why I've been spending time with the bears. Low key, that's my master plan.
Alright. And what's this base you're setting up south of the town?
It's just I'm gonna put my tent there, and I'm gonna drive a stake into the ground and have the bears sort of at this like mini camp, just so that they're outside of the city when shit goes down potentially.
Alright, so you're gonna try to tie them up and leave them there?
Well, just on a stake, yeah, sort of how we had it like originally, early on in that other cave. But I'll leave them there with some food, and hopefully it'll be in an inconspicuous spot. Maybe I should roll for stealth. I don't want it to be like out in the open, just sort of like more hidden,
So,
secluded.
yeah, I mean, you can try to hide them there, but you don't think because they're not used to being tied up necessarily. So they might make noise if you just leave them there.
Well, I guess. How much noise do you would like they make from like my experience? Would it be enough that like 2 miles away the town would like someone would find out, or?
No, it's more likely another wild animal might hear them than the town itself. Give me a animal handling check. 14. All right. So you think yeah, I don't know if you'd have a good way of storing them right now. You could just leave them free, but they might wander off. You could tie them up, but yeah, then they might make noise and attract a predator or something.
Okay, I'm gonna leave. Is Mia with me? I'm assuming she came with, since
I
we're both
mean,
spending time.
If you asked her to.
Yeah, I'm assuming
regardless,
she's.
Mia's not going to let you run off with her bears. I mean, I
Yeah,
know they're
yeah,
yours, but no, they're her bears at this
yeah,
point.
yeah. They're Mia's bears. So Mia's coming with me, and I'm telling her that I'm letting them out of the city so that they don't come in harm's way when shit goes down, right? And I think if we just put some meat down, some like food, as well as just sort of like have a tent there, they might wander off, but they'd come back when they get hungry because they know that we've
How
been
well
feeding
trained
them.
are they so far?
They're not incredibly
Like,
domesticated, but they're like a third of the way, so they at least know that if they need food, they can come back and get some tasty meat, right?
Probably, yeah. You could always try to track them down too.
I think we just leave him here and go back, and then as soon as we're done with Blackwater, we come back for the bears and make sure everyone's safe.
Okay, is that what you're doing?
As long as Mia's okay with it, I'm putting it by her. She has final word.
I'm not super comfortable with leaving the bears, but just
could
know
also,
if anything happens to him, I'll kill you. So have a backup character ready.
You could also use speak with animals to tell them what you're doing, since you do have that spell.
Okay. Yeah, let me go ahead and speak with animals and make sure they understand what's going on.
All right. So do you have a spell slot left to do that? It says you're all out.
Is this the next day, or is this?
Oh, I think she
before
was
this
casting it those last few times. Did you cast
Did
Jen?
I? Yeah, it just
And
told me
speak
I was
with
there.
animals
Have I been
and be sensible?
casting?
Okay.
No.
No, because
maybe.
it didn't
Oh,
say it
no.
was taking away the spell slots. So she was
Okay.
just linking the. So you might be all. I mean, you might be all out of spells for today. So I guess you might just have to wait. Yeah. Why did you kill exactly?
We can take a long rest outside over here with the bears.
I'll
All right.
have a look
So
at
you
it.
want to stay outside the city?
You could just
Yeah.
do it tomorrow. You could just do it tomorrow and then have the long rest tonight, and then just do it tomorrow. I'm not there. Just.
Maybe we should do that.
All right. So
I mean,
you're
I
gonna
wouldn't mind
spend the evening with the
camping.
bears tonight, camping out.
Well,
That's fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning to do at least. I have a tent.
All right. So
I don't
we'll
know if Mia has a
say
tent.
you're doing that.
Okay.
You have your tent. Go ahead and spend a day's worth of food. And those of you who are in the town, just spend your upkeep, which I know for some of you is 1 gold, some of you is 2 gold. But I'll say the time passes.
I'm gonna go flirt with Neil and then come back, but just enough time so I can feel the long rest.
Okay. So yeah, the evening would pass. Go ahead and spend your upkeep or your rations for those of you camping. Let's see. Nope, nothing happens outside of town. You're not attacked by wild animals or anything. So
Would I have to spend like half upkeep for the alcohol or something?
no, that's okay. We'll just say maybe you spent some more on another day or something.
Okay.
That was just the alcohol. That's the 2 goals. So I'm gonna go back to like what everybody else is doing daily. I just wanted the rum.
Alright, so it is now the 18th of autumn at 7 a.m. Go ahead and do a long rest, gain your hit points, regain if you've lost your permanent hit points, and, get rid of a day of exhaustion, or 1 level of exhaustion. But yeah, it is the morning of the 18th of autumn. I assume you're going to speak to the bears, Mia, and let them know that you're just leaving them here for the time being.
Yeah.
So go ahead and now you can cast the spell.
Yeah.
There you go. So you use one of your spells to do that. And I assume that the 2 of you are heading back into town.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, it is the morning of the 18th. You're all at the Maplewood. What do you want to do?
I would have head back to Blackwater's estate the night before.
Yeah, that's fine. Was there something you wanted to do there?
Well, he's sending me down with the other scouts to check out the tunnels.
Yeah, he said he was sending you down the next day. He's not sending you down right in the morning, though. Or did...
Okay.
I guess he didn't actually tell you when he was sending you down, right?
Right.
So he's not sending you down right away. He would say, if you ask him about it, he would say he's sending you down around lunchtime the next day.
Sure. Did Alira come back with me?
Yeah, Alira
Okay.
is in the house now, so she's back to work.
Gotcha. All right.
Unless you want to tell her to leave.
Yeah, I'll let her know to possibly not be here later today.
All right, she'll say, "Very well. I'll see what I can do."
Okay.
So, is there? Or go ahead.
I'm gonna head back to the Maplewood.
Okay. So yeah, you would all meet there in the morning after getting a good night's rest. What does the group want to do?
All right. Well, let's just get ready and set up for the ambush. Make sure the Bloodhound is aware of what we're doing, and they're ready to move. Right? Or do you guys want to do something else?
We should be down there
Well,
as
I'm
fast as possible. We don't know when they leave.
around noon, say.
Yeah, but we don't know that.
That's what he just told you.
No. Yeah.
Maldonis is there.
Oh, okay. Meldonas came back. Okay.
Ah, okay.
Well, I think it's better to be
That at least an hour
quicker
early.
than
Yeah, set it all up.
slower.
All right. So you're going to the Bloodhand to let them know about your plan.
Well, the Bloodhand said that they would assemble, even if they weren't going to go through with the plan. So I'm assuming we can just get
Instead
on
of
to the caves.
RPing everything, can we tell Cithril the plan of the take the first people out, get the reinforcements, take them out, and then go in and see if she agrees to it?
So that is you're going to go talk to her about that.
Yeah.
So you go to the blood hand. She would ask you about the plan. You tell her. She says, "Do you need my help in taking these people out, or am I holding my people on reserve for the attack?"
I don't honestly believe that we'll need you for the first wave, to be sure. Second, I also don't think we require any help necessarily. We definitely need you for the assault, but it's gonna be nice to have your troops in the halls regardless, since that's where we're gonna be going from, to potentially help with the second wave.
Yeah, I can bring my people down there. Have them on standby. Is it safe to enter the halls? Did you get rid of all the undead in there, or are we waiting outside?
All the undead in there have pretty much been cleared out. I think there is one like ghoul thing that ran away through the walls, so that might still be around somewhere, but that thing isn't too strong.
All right. Well, then I'll keep my people on reserve in the area. We'll say right outside where we built the barricade. If that works.
That should be fine, yeah.
All right. We'll just wait for word from you as to where you need us. And are you sure this is going to work? If word of this reaches the town guard, then we'll have more than just Blackwater to contend with.
Well, I mean, I'm a lot more sure that this will work rather than, another plan at this point. I think this is our best shot right now, while Blackwater is not completely on the defensive just yet.
All right. Well, we'll have limited time once the attack begins. I assume after we take out these waves, we're going to hit the mansion next, yes?
Correct, yeah.
Do you know... I'm assuming there are tunnels approaching the mansion. Are they going to have a bottleneck there set up, or will we have a way of quickly getting into the house?
There will be a bottleneck, however, since we've taken out the first two waves, we can disguise ourselves as them. We've got Meldonis, who is the inside man. He can get us in through the initial bottleneck. We can take out the crossbowman sitting at the bottleneck, at which point we'll have free access to the mansion.
All right, as long as that defensive point is captured. I don't want my men rushing into a death hallway filled with crossbow bolts. All right, I believe we can make this work then. Are we having any assistance from the Iron Tide?
Not at this time, no. If shit hits the fan, they should be ready to extract all of us, but they're outside of town.
All right, I'm going to send some of my people to keep a watch on the exterior of the Blackwater Mansion, just to make sure he doesn't try to escape outside, at least not without us knowing.
Perfect.
If he, oh, I'm not there.
No, you're all there. Everyone's there right now.
Oh, we're all with Cithril?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then I'll ask if he does try to escape, will you be sure to get him, or is there a possibility that he can run away?
If it depends, I mean, I'm not going to commit the majority of my forces there, so they'll more be there to tell me that he did that. I'm going to need my forces underground if that's where we're attacking from. I doubt he'll try to escape unless he feels like he's in danger, which if we pull this off right, he won't have time to feel that.
Yeah.
It just all depends on us keeping this quiet while it's happening. So they're more there to follow him in the event him and a group of mercenaries does escape, so I can know where he's gone, not to stop him. If he runs out into town, at that point we've lost, because he has the town guard, he has all his mercenaries out there. We have to keep him from getting out there and try to do this quickly and quietly.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. So, yes, I'll bring my members or my blood hands to the halls of Tarsus and await your further instruction.
Perfect.
All right. So, what is the next step for the group?
Heading down to the tunnels, I guess.
All
I
right.
will head back up to the Blackwater State.
And wait for your people. All right. So, around 12, he's going to send you down there along with Lyra and looks like some probably lower level people, soldiers, and some historians to get a look at the area looking for this artifact. So the only one of much power in this group would probably be Lyra.
Okay.
Didn't he
so,
say he was sending like one of his higher end mercenaries too?
Apparently it looks like he is sending Lyra as his higher end mercenary. Because she was the one leading it last time. So she probably does have some magical ability to defend herself. Are you going to say anything to him?
no.
All right.
Gonna head on down.
So there are, let's see, there's you, there's her, and there's probably about 6 others. So there's 8 people total that he's sending down there. And you would head off into the tunnels. Where are the rest of you setting up? In the halls. Actually, I'll just go to the halls of Tarsus so you can show me where you're setting up. So go ahead and pull yourself on to whatever part of the map you want to be on, as long as it's explored.
Let's see.
Where do we grab our tokens again?
From the journal, you can grab and pull the character onto the map.
So, Nalo, if we're sitting in the little hallway to the spider area here, can you have your unseen servant in the fireplace ready to blow that up?
Yes, I can. From
It will
right
blow
here, I
up the
believe.
unseen servant as well.
That's fine.
Yeah, just want to make sure you knew that. So you can't blow it up multiple times or anything.
You guys do know we only have one exploding room left, right? Because we already
Well-
blew up one.
Yeah, but we can probably activate the fire rooms in this fireplace again.
Okay.
We've got
I
one that
can't
will deal with a
see-
detonation. The zombie.
One there.
Oh, okay. Vision is kind of strange.
Yep, I only have light on my shield. Oh.
Yeah, so
I
there's
see.
the dark vision. Dark vision is kind of the grayish one, and the light is the more clear vision.
Is there a door right here? Because like Tal is like half cut off for me. I can't even see.
Yeah,
Stuck
it's
inside
closed.
the door.
So here, I'll open
Okay.
that.
Wait, no.
Let me see. Wait, why is it not opening? Oh, that's why. Alright, I'll do it manually. Whoop. There you go.
Alright, so that means plan is we wait for them to get into this room. Nala will activate the fire trap, and we all rush in and take out whoever's left standing.
Probably, yeah. I can
Are we
order
happy-
the unseen servant without looking at it, right?
Yeah, you can give it a command. I think you can mentally
Yeah.
command it. You can link Unseen
Yeah.
Servant if you want.
I'll
Just show
link
me
it.
the description.
But there we go.
Are we wanting Nalo to be invisible? Or not?
Can we close the door here? Or is that door?
yeah.
Do you not need line of sight in order to activate your unseen servant?
Does that have to be in line of sight? Let's see
So once on each of your turns, as a bonus action, you can mentally command to servant to move up to 15 feet and interact with an object. So yeah, you don't actually have to see it. You can just mentally command it. It doesn't say it has to be in view.
You've got to stay within 60 feet.
Yeah, as long as
Yeah,
you're within
and
the
I'm-
range of it.
Yeah, this is 60 feet right here. So
Alright, in that case, we're just ready to burst through the doors, but how will we know that they're in there?
I think a good way is we just keep the door closed and have someone on each side holding it closed, and as soon as we hear people hitting the door, then we know
But
we can activate
will-
unseen servant.
will Maldonis know not to go into the room?
I'm assuming.
I mean, he
Well,
knows
okay.
where the fireplace is.
He
And
knows
I
where
know
the
what the
fireplace
fireplace
is, and
does.
he will notice the moment that they can't open this door.
And do you know the order in which you need to do the code to set the thing off? That I did.
I am curious though if they go into the room and have some sort of magical identification and they see the unseen servant, that could
Would they, if he's hiding in the fireplace, would they see him through the illusionary fireplace?
potentially if they have someone like Tal who can see magic. I don't know.
I mean, they wouldn't actually, because it's conjuration and the fireplace is conjuration too.
Oh,
So it'd just be the
Fireplace
same school of
illusion.
magic.
It's illusion. The fireplace.
It's illusion, whatever. Like, at that point, if they say, oh my god, there's something in the fireplace that is conjuration, we rush in and we kill them.
yeah. So I guess we just have someone maybe like scurry. You're like a tabaxi. Your hearing's pretty good, right? So maybe just have your ear up to the door and we wait.
Sure
I guess.
then.
Give me one
Also-
sec, Maldonis. I'm setting you up out here. You're not actually
Also
there yet.
casting the 8 again.
As
It's-
Nalo cast his unseen servant, because I've got a really bad feeling you might need to.
Oh yeah, no, I need to ritual cast my unseen servant. I'm gonna do that right now.
Alright, that's fine. So you're getting your unseen servant set up.
Get him in the illusionary fireplace.
Or do we have to roleplay opening the door and letting him in, or?
No, that's fine. You don't have to
Okay.
worry about that. I was
And I've
just setting something else up at the moment.
Just because of doing the plan, I have told you the order in which I press the buttons, so you know which one watched for your unseen servant to do.
And we get 20 extra HP from Tal. That's actually big.
No, 10 for everyone. It's only 3 persons, so I have to do 2 rounds to get
Ah,
everyone.
okay. Makes sense.
You doing
Wait, so
10
who has
HP?
max HP?
Everyone has 10 max HP.
Oh,
just
you're
like you
doing,
did yesterday.
you're doing aid?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I would probably have done it in the tavern when Maldonis was still with us. If that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Setting it for 8 hours, just note it on the extended effects thing. So, Alright, so you all are, I'm going to fast forward till around 12, probably about 1 o'clock when Meldonis, you and the group arrive here.
Okay.
Where did my calendar go? There it is. So it's around 1 o'clock in the afternoon when you all are coming into this area. Lyra would look to you, Meldonis, and say the Therian Empire really was a fascinating era of the dwarfs rebuilding. And she's kind of moving down the hallway like this with you.
Oh, yes.
She says, do you think Mia's going to be down here again?
Wouldn't say. I'll kind of stop here, looking to her. Oh, what exactly is this?
She says, I believe this is some sort of dimensional protection anchor that, from what I gleaned from it, it is some sort of marking to prevent the passage of outsiders, probably to keep the place safe from demons and angels and any other type of outsider from entering the temple.
Oh, well,
I don't know what these skeletons are about, though. Maybe it has something to do with the attack on the halls.
who knows?
She says, it looks like it was erected, I would guess, to keep the demons out. That might be why they blew up the hallway here as well, but it's hard to say for certain.
Interesting.
Kind of walks forward. She says, I hope the group wasn't too upset with me. I know I was being a little standoffish yesterday.
Oh, no, they were fine.
Alright, so you come up this way. And she's sort of walking over here. What do you want to do? She looks like she's just heading towards this door, as if she's seen this room already.
I will, I'll look, quote unquote, look around, and kind of walk over to, the fireplace.
Yeah.
And, obviously knowing where, the things are, I'll put my hand over the fire and, I'll kind of motion towards some of the scholars to look at this, saying, oh, this is not real. Has anyone seen this?
Lyra stops and looks over. She says, oh, yes, actually, I noticed when we first came through that was probably illusionary. There's no way it could be burning for, 1,000 years or however old this place is. Some of the scholars might walk over. Did you see something else?
I think I might have seen something in the fire. I'm not sure. If you want to take a look real quick, I'll step away. Letting them.
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay. Double 18s.
She says, "Oh, what did you see?" And she kind of walks over and looks in the fireplace.
I will nod to Nala.
Boom. Or, well, I guess I say something more specific than boom, but I tell my unseen servant to push buttons.
I will actually, when she's talking, I'm going to usher Lyra over towards the runes on the ground and let the scholars kind of check it out. Yeah.
All right. So
because I don't want her getting close. I just want the scholars getting close. So if she's walking over there, I'll say, "Oh, actually, what is this? If you wouldn't mind coming over here."
She says, "Oh yes, those seem to be connected to the pillar over here. It looks like some way of channeling magical energy through the, and then there is a big explosion.
Boom. All right.
So,
let's go through the door.
unfortunately, you are all in the explosion area as it is a 20-foot burst of fire.
But I could take it. I should be fine.
So,
And plus, it'll help with the illusion of me actually getting.
yes, I need deck saves from you, and I will roll for Lyra and the scholars. Well, let's see. Actually, the damage would be relevant. Let's see how much it deals. Yeah, so the
Still up.
scholars are not surviving that. Neither is the crossbowmen with them. So yeah, there is an explosion of fire. Lyra is going to use her reaction to cast, actually, what's the elemental one?
Absorb
Oh.
elements.
What? Sorry, what?
Absorb elements?
Yes, that's what it was. So she goes, "Oh gods!" and she throws her hand up as the fire is coming at her, making her
I
save.
actually
Yeah.
want to counterspell her.
You're gonna counterspell her. She will know
Yeah.
you're doing that. Do you want to? Are you gonna do that?
No, I'm not. I won't do it.
All right. So,
Yeah.
she goes, "Oh gods!" She makes her saving throw and then casts absorb elements. So she only actually takes 5 points of fire damage as she goes, "Ah!" And her arm is kind of burned a bit, scorched. But yeah, these guys are they're all dead as they are engulfed in fire. Dead, 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 dead. What is so she goes, "Oh gods!" and she runs over and is kind of looking at them, but it's obvious that they're very dead as they're all charred and burned horribly.
I'll stand up and kind of
Meldonis,
brush myself
are
off.
you all right? Did you make
I'll
your
live.
saving throw?
What? As
I'm
nose,
sure-
their blood comes out of my nose. Not understand.
At this point, I think we would barge into the room.
All right,
Yep.
so you're all rushing in at this point.
Yeah.
All right. So the door suddenly flies open. Alira would look over.
Massacre.
There's a bunch of dead people. Lyra would look over and say, "Oh, she seems confused.
We heard an explosion. Is everyone alright?
Give me a deception check.
Oh yes.
We heard an explosion. We just happened to be standing right here. So odd." She kind of looks a little curiously and she says, "No, we're not all right. They're all dead. Oh gods."
I will walk up to her, and then once I'm next to her, I'll knock her out.
You're going to
Oh,
attack
what
her?
a shame.
All right, give me initiative rolls at this point.
And I'd be walking down, so I'd be like here.
Yeah. That's
Wow,
fine.
that's just bad.
I got beaten in initiative. Holy shit.
All right, so let's see. She is definitely surprised. So Meldonis, you would be the first to act as you see Scurry kind of walking over to her. Do you want to do anything?
Mm,
Nope.
no.
Dodge
nope,
action.
No, I will.
All right, so you just kind of stand there as if you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, just watching everything play out.
All right, next, Scurry. So you walk over to her. She just kind of looks sadly at you, looks at all the dead people, and what, you're just going to stab her?
I'll try and knock her
Can I-
out, so non-lethal damage.
So you can do that once you would get to the point where she's going to die. You can choose to non-lethal instead of kill
so
her.
I'll just attack with my rapier.
Can I speak as he's walking up, or am I?
You'd have to wait till your
I have to-
turn. So
I see.
Scurry would have acted before you'd be able to speak. So you do an attack on her, which I'll give you advantage for the first one for sure. 16 would strike her, catching her off guard. Like, oh gods, what?
Means it's an automatic crit because she's surprised.
Are
you an
a
assassin?
Yes.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, if you are assassin subclass, then yes, so you would crit. So that would be 9 and 7 and another sneak attack and another damage, or another d8 roll.
For some reason I can't do it, but I'll just roll it again. There you go.
Alright, so another 1 and 10, so 11 plus 7, 18, so 27 damage. She takes the hit and actually is not looking wounded yet as she kind of sidesteps, and you get a nasty bit of damage on her. She says, Scurry! And she looks like she's about to start casting. Anything else, Scurry?
Bonus action dagger.
Yeah. Alright, so 19 would strike as you stab
And that's
at
also
her.
a crit?
Uh,
Because she has not acted.
is it all attacks or crits?
Mm-hmm. All attacks are crits.
Alright, so you would deal 3 points of damage, and I need another d4 roll, because that would be a crit. So that would be another 2, so you deal 5 points more of damage to her. Anything else?
That's my turn.
Alright, Tal.
Oh my god. I'm so.
So she is... Yeah, she kind of stumbles back as you stab at her, using all of her, using as much of her stamina as she can to avoid taking a direct hit. What are you doing, Tal?
Oh god.
It's like putting down old Yeller.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to take you out back, Lyra. It'll be okay.
I'm not gonna
It'll
attack
be
her.
okay.
I'm gonna attack. Let's just
Why?
surrender. We can end this without further bloodshed.
So you yell for Lyra to surrender.
Yeah.
Give me a persuasion check. Okay. Mia, what are you gonna do? You too, Mia? Oh, I just realized we're over time. Do we want to stop here and continue the massacre of Lyra next time?
I promised to heal her afterwards.
Yeah, we're not gonna kill you. It'll be okay.
We could probably finish
Actually,
this
can
up.
I just
Let's
run
finish the
my,
round. Yeah,
my
let's-
move real quick?
We can finish the round. That's fine. What are you
So-
doing, Mia?
I'm gonna. Oh god. Okay, I'm gonna cast. I'm gonna cast second level Cure Wounds on Lyra. I'm gonna grab her and I'm going to run out the hallway with her.
Oh god.
So you can grab her. That would be a attack you'd have to do. So hang on. Where are you? You're here?
Yeah, over here.
So you would have to do 15 feet to get to here. Then you could make a grapple attempt on her, because she probably isn't just going to let you grab her at this point, especially. So go ahead and roll athletics, and she is going to oppose that with acrobatics. Give me an athletics check. As you're like, Lyra, come here. Oh, good roll. Oh, but she got a natural 20. So
No!
22. Yeah, so she would dodge you as you come in to grab her. You can. No, I think you get multiple attacks, right?
Okay. Yeah.
That's
So I'm
if you
gonna.
take the attack action.
No, but you can. So with grappling, you can replace any number of your attacks with a grapple attempt. So if you have multiple attacks, she could try to do another grapple.
Okay. Well,
Which she does, right? Your level. You're at the
Yeah.
level. Okay, so go ahead and make a second grapple check. Another athletics.
athletics today.
She's going to oppose with a 17. All right, so no, she would dodge you again and say, "Get away from me!" And she looks really pissed off at this point. And that's it for you, right, Mia?
Yeah, I'm just gonna yell, "Fine, fucking die then!"
All right. Well, Lyra, for her turn, is surprised, so she's just trying to get things in order to know what to do next. Riven, what are you doing?
Right, fuck it. I'm just gonna guiding bolt the bitch.
Alright, you send a guiding bolt at her. She is no longer surprised. 19. So she is going to use a reaction to cast shield. And that would be deflected. Anything else?
Can I counterspell
You
that?
can.
reaction?
Alright, so at this point,
I will.
you yell a magical word to interrupt her shielding, which would do a counter. The question is she going to counter?
She
Which
already
I don't
used her
think she
reaction.
can, yeah,
Used her
because she
reaction,
used
yeah.
her reaction. So no, she is countered and blasted by the guiding bolt. Go ahead and give me a damage roll and mark yourself as countering there with your reaction.
We're doing it at third level.
All right,
What is the?
it's the
counter
one
symbol?
that's well, the reaction used is the one that's on Lyra. So you blast her for 28 damage. And she is definitely looking wounded now, as she is seared by radiant energy. And she
And it gives whoever's
stumbles
next
back.
an advantage.
Yeah. So there is advantage on the next attack against her. Nalo, bottom of the round.
So if I try to like persuade or intimidate her, that's my action, right?
Yes. If you
I'm
want to try
gonna
to talk
attempt it.
to
I'm
her.
gonna move here, and I'm going to yell, "Surrender! No need to die!" And do
Go ahead.
intimidation.
That would probably be more
Be persuasion?
persuasion. Unless you're
Alright.
saying, like, we're going to kill you if you don't
that's
surrender.
performance. That's what I sort of meant.
Okay.
So intimidation.
Alright. So she is definitely not looking good at this point with that radiant bolt that just seared her. She stumbles back, but it is the top of the round with Meldonis. Because she actually can't speak till it's her turn. At least not in a meaningful way. What do you want to do, Meldonis? Or actually, we are in a new round. Do we want to save this till next time?
I don't think it will take more than one rod. I'm down to stick it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what are you going to do, Meldonis?
Frostbite.
Are you actually attacking her?
Yeah.
Alright, so this cannot be non-lethal, by the way.
Oh, that's
If
fine.
you-
It's only 4 damage.
Alright. Con save. Lyra is frozen as she falls to the floor and dies.
Oh. Ooh.
What
so
the fuck? I just meant to knock her out.
What the
That's
fuck? We
fine.
were meant to kill soldiers, not scholars.
I can save her, I'll just do spare the dying and tie her up.
No, she is dead.
Mia's gonna fall to
Is
her
that how
knees
frostbite
and just
works?
let out a
As
horrible
NPCs
wail.
don't fall
God.
unconscious. NPCs die when they hit 0.
I see.
She's gonna sit there and hold Lyra's dead body.
Yeah, she only actually had a few hit points left. That searing took her pretty low.
Wait, how was she not under half when Scurry hit her for 27?
She went under half, I think, when the searing hit her. Or wait, let me double check that. Maybe she is still alive. Did I mess up the math here? Let's see.
Maybe. Because I hit her for a lot, and River definitely hit her for less, and then she was under half.
Okay, now, yeah, I think you're right. I think I messed up the math here. She is still alive, just badly wounded.
Oh.
So, no, never mind. She's still alive. Scurry, what are you going to do?
Jesus. I will attack her non-lethally.
Alright, so you go for another attack on her. She's clutching several wounds now, both seared and frozen.
I still got advantage because she hasn't acted yet.
No, she has. I mean,
Would he have advantage from my guiding bolt?
Hasn't taken a turn in combat. She hasn't taken a turn because she was surprised, right?
No, she didn't take a turn, I thought.
Well, her turn passed. She just couldn't do anything for her turn because she was surprised. But 21 would hit because, yes, as Riven pointed out, he did do his guiding bolt. So go ahead and give me a damage roll. And with advantage, there would be sneak. Do you want to kill her or knock her out with this attack?
I will knock her out.
Alright, so as she kind of stumbles backward from the multiple hits, you kind of run in and slam her with the hilt of your rapier, sending her to the ground, and she is unconscious. And we can pause here, and let me get some MVP votes.
Really thought that frostbite was gonna kill her there for a second. What were you thinking?
I was like, she just hit half health, so she's probably got quite a bit.
She was very close to half health after Scurry's attack, but then Riven hit her for like high 20s. So she was, she was close, but yeah, I did one of the maths a little bit wrong there.
That or I was going for Thunder or something, but I know she could resist that, so I thought, fuck it, go for what she can't. Okay.
Good thing you did crit.
Several of the other groups would be very unhappy for what you just did to Lyra.
Do they love Lyra?
Lyra is pretty beloved in several of the groups. Alright, so 5 votes. Who am I missing?
We'll keep her hogtied in the back of a wagon when we travel.
No, Mia has her in her arms right now. Don't be messing with Lyra anymore.
I can't swear the dying on her.
Well, she's unconscious. She's not bleeding out unconscious. Alright, so looks like Meldonis with 3 votes. You are MVP. Congrats.
Sick. Now I have that.
You have an inspiration.
Now you can get the help. This is perfect.
Strategic vote there.
We stretched it out long enough for the session to end so we can get inspiration on
Meldonis.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, well, hopefully everyone had fun, and we'll pick this up next week. This group continues, and I think your cleric might be a little angry that you just killed a bunch of scholars, but we can roll.
We didn't kill them. The fire did.
It was the fire that killed them.
We just happened to be there.
Yeah.
Plus, as far as Scurry was aware, there would be soldiers, Lyra, and a high-end mercenary.
People don't kill people. Guns kill people. There we go.
Yeah.
It was the fire's fault.
It's not our fault that there was just...
Blame the dwarves that made this place.
Yeah, it was the dwarves. Why did they put such a dangerous trap there?
He was happy
so
with
irresponsible.
He was happy with killing all the scholars. It was killing Lyra he had the issue with.
I was definitely not happy with it.
It's like, wait a minute.
He is the only member of this party with a conscience, alright?
It's like, wait, those weren't soldiers. Good lord.
Well, technically they're all burned to ash, you wouldn't know.
They're not burned
I'll make
to
sure to
ash.
tell you.
Yeah, Meldonis soul. They aren't burned to the point where you can't see, like, you know. They definitely don't look like they were wearing armor.
Although I'm guessing whatever they're wearing, we can't now wear it. Really.
I mean, it's just
Oh,
a bunch of nerds.
Just a bunch.
Whoa.
It's not like there hasn't been, a bunch of nerds murdered before.
I mean, what does that make Lyra?
Nerder.
What?
Murder nerd.
She's the hot.
The ultimate
She's that hot
nerd.
nerd chick that always survives because everyone wants to.
No.
She's a geek. That's right. Difference
Yes.
between a geek.
So from here, we just drag the dead bodies of the scholars down into the fire pit room.
Throw them in the water. We'll just drag them and throw them in the water.
Yeah. You don't want to give
So
them a
that
proper
way, when we
burial?
lead them to the... are we gonna
It's
set
a
another
water burial.
ambush here in this room, or are we gonna try and lead them then to the one with the skeletons that also explode?
Even
Maybe.
though we just murdered them, we should give them an honorable burial.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that having a bunch of scarred bodies bopping up and down the water is gonna entice them to go any further.
That'll be fine.
No. Flower.
Alright.
I'll use my hempen rope to hog tie Lyra, and I'll just hold her in my arms.
No, Mia. No, Mia. We're not doing that yet. You can wait for that.
No, they can't wait for that. Must
At least
hold.
do it in a different room. I don't need to see that.
Yeah.
Oh, Mother
I'm not
Bear.
into. I'm
Now,
not into
here's
watching Mia.
Here's the big question. Mallow, did you
Yes.
record it?
Yes. Well, I have most of it recorded. I can post what I have currently.
I just
Right down
wanted
the
to
Mia
make
hog
sure.
This
tie.
is what I have
Just wanted to
currently.
make sure I got done.
Oh, it's too
Right
big.
down.
Wait.
See, look,
Right down
the
the
Twitch
hog
audience
tie.
is already mad at you. Apparently for the Mother Bear, though, not
What?
for Lyra.
Yeah. Not for Lyra, for the mother bear.
Exactly. Well, my kitties just woke up, so
Mother Bear
I gotta head
survived in
out.
their game. Alright, see you later.
See ya.
Yes.
Oh god, let's see who else we can kill next.
Here, I have to just finish the.
Lyra would have been fucking dead. I would have created some issues potentially.
I just love the fact that we're
Yeah, like I said, she was really low. She was really close to half when she took that damage, and then that guiding bolt hit her really hard. So
I always go really hard with the guiding bolt. I don't know why. It's my go-to for damage.
it's a good
It was the
damage
first
spell.
one that didn't crit, I think.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good damage spell. But yeah, you can't do you can't do non-lethal attacks with spells or ranged weapons. It has to be a melee attack.
I was all down for killing her.
Oh. Ooh.
I know you're all down for killing everyone.
I'm sorry, but the
You're
fact of the
like
matter
the
is, like,
psychotic
if she-
murder fairy.
Whoopsie, she's dead. My bad.
Oops.
Tal tried to convince her. Mia tried to help her, and she said no. So I was a bit like, fuck it, you don't want to be saved? Die then.
Well, no, Mia ran over and grabbed her. She's like, "Come here, Lyra." And Lyra's like, "What the?"
She had just cured her wound, so I would have thought, oh, she
Just
saved her.
FYI, if she succeeded in the grapple, I would have taken my oppie.
Oh well, you can't. You
Drag
can't.
her away.
You can't oppie off of force movement. But actually, I totally forgot about the cure. So I actually didn't give her HP back for that. Because she wouldn't have even been able to grapple her if she used the spell. So I think yeah. So I didn't give her any HP back. So that was on me, I think.
So
If she'd have grabbed him, I'd have had to like gust her back to stop him from fucking running past us.
Well, she would be moving at half speed. I think she only could have dragged her like 5 feet at that point, because she used some movement and she used her action, so she couldn't have dashed, and she'd be at half movement. It's only Scurry
Level
that
five.
can like double his movement and drag someone like 50 feet.
Level 5 and we're at PV. We'd been at PvP already.
Yeah, and then the group just turns on each other.
Yeah, it's pretty sane. 90 feet of movement dragging someone along. It's nuts.
Get over
It saved
here.
me more than once. It
No.
saved me more than
That
once.
druid to cast that thorn spell, where you take damage when moving over it.
That's true, although then you'd be running into the thorns as well. So it would damage both of you.
You know, it would be an interesting class, or maybe